Heels into the end zone, touchdown, Terrence Travis. So we'll give you here the starting lineup here for the Bruins. They're going to introduce the defense tonight, so that's who we'll give you first. At defensive end, Marcus Ilardo. At defensive tackle, number 55, Deron Phillips. And at the other tackle spot, number 74, Tim Seeger. The other defensive end spot, number 85, Parker Robertson. Inside linebacker, number 28, Griffin Height. Inside linebacker, number 32, Joel Hunter. He has moved from the outside to inside. He swapped spots with outside linebacker Kevin Wilson, who gets the start there, and the other outside linebacker, number 21, Ginda Smith. The two corners are number 5, Jordan Porter, number 81, Cameron Hamden, and the safety is number 4, Luke Grant. Starters on offense for the Bruins. At wide receiver, number 5, Jordan Porter, and number 81, Cameron Hamden. Going on the offensive line from left to right. At left tackle, number 52, Eli Kestner. Then at guard, number 58, Marcus Ilardo. The center, number 69, Owen Ball. Right guard, number 68, Tyler Coleman. And the right tackle is number 74, Tim Seeger. Tight end, number 85, Parker Robertson. Quarterback, number 2, Terrence Travis. The fullback, number 12, Kevin Wilson. And tailback, number 21, Ginda Smith. So we're going to see, we saw a very unique offense last week. We're going to see another, not as rare, but still pretty rare. You don't see, the Maryland eye where they have the quarterback and then 3 backs behind him. They go with 1 fullback, 2 tailbacks, so interesting to see what they go with there. They've got some good athletes.
Yeah, Liberty's, sometimes that stack guy looks like a T back there, just the way they line up in it. Then they'll break it and give you a wishbone look sometimes. And then you'll see them come out in trips. Sometimes they'll be in 4 wide. Sometimes they'll be in spread with 1 back. And, when they spread the field like that, what they're trying to do is to spread the defense and then gash them inside with Reynolds. And Reynolds certainly has grown a little bit. He's 5'11", 175 pounds, and a very good runner.
The starting offense for Liberty at wide receiver, Doug Schaefer. And then at tight end is number 80, Matt Kerr. Offensive line going from left to right is Michael Boyer at left tackle, Jerry Thompson at left guard, Taylor Kennedy at center, Ethan Taylor at right guard, and Adam Knott at right tackle. Cody Utong is the quarterback, Thomas Clark the fullback, Quintel Starks is 1 tailback, and Anthony Reynolds is the other tailback. Blacksburg has won the toss. They elect to receive. The kick is up. It is caught by Jordan Porter at about the 2-yard line, going from left to right. He gets past the initial wave of defenders. He's only got 1 man to beat.
Got the kicker.
And he is pushed out of bounds at about the 42-yard lines. We've got a flag at the end of the play.
What a move he made on that. He made 4 guys stand still in their tracks and broke it up the sideline. The kicker was sitting there waiting on him and knocked him out of bounds, and then 3 other guys come in for Liberty with a late hit, so it's going to put Blacksburg in Liberty territory right off the bat.
So yeah, personal foul, so add 15 to the return. He brought it 40 yards up to the 42, and now that'll push it to Liberty territory. Yeah, the kick went over to the right. It looks like it might have been affected a little bit by the wind. He caught it on the fly, and so I think because it was so far over, the pursuit, they didn't have everyone on pursuit, and he's able to get past that initial wave of defenders. And then lucky there for Liberty that the kicker was able to push him out of bounds, but Blacksburg will start now at the Liberty 43-yard line, 1st and 10.
Yeah, Liberty's kickers, their nose guard, 6'1", 245-pound senior Jerry Thompson. He put a good foot in it. Good job by Jordan to catch it before it got in the end zone.
So they will open up in the I formation. Terrence Travis takes the snap, rolls over to the right, gets a little bit of pressure, has the ball knocked out. I believe that now they're going to rule this an incomplete pass. So incomplete pass, 2nd and 10 for the Bruins. Got lucky on that one. It was a good call there by the ref, but his arm got struck from behind. That was Dennis Schoen, the defensive tackle, on the pressure.
Yeah, right off the bat there, Blacksburg drops back to pass, and Terrence drops in the pocket, and they bring the weak side linebacker off the corner to put some pressure on him, and he just got in Terrence's face, and they got a piece of the football. Blacksburg trying to run a streak down the sidelines and just didn't have time to get it all.
So they'll keep it in the I formation. Their 2 wide receivers, Miles Hyder and Jordan Porter. They'll hand it off up the middle. Nope. They'll take it out of the belly of Griffin Height. Travis goes up the middle, and he's going to get tackled right at the line of scrimmage.
Liberty very physical up front, coming across the football hard. they stack up pretty good size. They 5'11", 240 tackle on the 6'1", 245 nose guard, and a 5'10", 240 tackle on the other side, and coming across real hard in that 4-3 defense.
So it's going to be 3rd and 10 now for the Bruins at the 43. Started off with great field position. Let's see if they're going to have to punt or if they can convert on 3rd down. They converted 7 of 9 last week. Keeping the I formation. Hand it off to Smith to the right side. Good hole. He's got the first down a little bit more. Tackled at about the 32-yard line. Gain of 11 on the play for Smith.
Good job again by Blacksburg's offensive front, picking up the stunt, the weak side linebacker again, which is number 22, Corey Witt, a 6 foot, 180-pound junior for Liberty. It's coming up the field. It looks like they're focusing more on Terrence, and that time he gave the ball to Genda. Genda just cut right up inside of it and picked up a nice game for the Bruins.
And he did a good job of sticking inside. A couple times last week he tried to bounce it outside too early. So they go to the shotgun now. 4 wide receivers. Travis takes the snap, throws over to the right side, caught by Jordan Porter. He's tackled, gain of about 4 on the play. Gets it inside the 30-yard line to the 28.
Excellent call there on offense by Coach Christ against that 4-3 defense. They got 2 deep safeties and 2 corners, and the 2 outside linebackers in the 4-3 are staying in to keep 7 people in the box. So he just throws a quick hitch to his inside receiver in a 4 wide set, picks up a good 4 yards. Good confidence pass for Terrence Travis, too.
So 2nd and 6 now at the Liberty 28. Big 3rd down conversion for the Bruins earlier there to keep the drive alive. Now a quarterback draw. Travis nowhere to go on the left side. Now he gets over to the right, inside the 20, inside the 10, shakes past one guy. He goes into the end zone. Touchdown, Terrence Travis, 28 yards out. And he just ran 2 defenders right into each other at about the 5-yard line, shook him out of their shoes, and he takes it in. He kind of got touched.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot.
Yeah, we don't play 2-hand touch in the River Ridge. But I tell you what, a great job by Terrence right there. Nobody open. He saw a hole in the containment, kept it inside that outside linebacker who was mirroring him and just ran around him like it was nothing to it.
Yeah, it was a quarterback draw up the middle, and it was no hole up the middle. So he just took it around the right side, and his speed got him through. Carson Wise's extra point is up, and it is good. So Blacksburg takes the quick 7-0 lead, and that 3rd down conversion was absolutely huge as they start out with a great field position. Terrence Travis takes it 28 yards for the score, and now Blacksburg is up on top to start this game as well as last week, 7-0 on their first drive.
Yeah, and that didn't take long to get down the field either. Great job by the Blacksburg offense. And now let's see how Liberty responds. You know, last week against Broadway, they wasn't in this kind of shape. They completely dominated that game. First time this season that Liberty's been behind in a football game, and if you're Blacksburg, you got to feel good because you just took it right down the field and stuck it in there really well. So now we'll see how the defense steps up against Mr. Reynolds and come up with a big stop.
So that drive was 1 minute 53 seconds, 43 yards, and 5 plays. The Jordan Porter kick return, I mentioned him in the pregame show. I said he's a guy to look out for, especially on kick returns. He takes it 40 yards. Then they tack on the 15 for the penalty. Blacksburg takes advantage of the good field position, and they put it in the end zone early. Kevin Wilson now set to kick off deep for the Bruins.
And sitting back there deep is Mr. Reynolds, and I'm sure they've seen that on the scouting report this week. I don't think you want to kick it to him.
Back deep to return is Anthony Reynolds and Breon Brawley, the 2 tailbacks. They'll kick it up. It's going to be caught by Brawley at about the 10-yard line. Gets out past the 25 to the 30, and he's drugged down at about the 33-yard line. So pretty good return there. And that's where Liberty, the Minutemen, will have their first possession.
And there again, you saw Brawley's speed too. He's got very good quickness right there on that return. And Liberty's got the wind to their back right now. If you've been here to Bill Brown Stadium, they're driving towards the concession stand side of the field, so they got the wind to their back here in the first quarter.
Liberty in the road whites. Now they'll hand it up off the middle. Looks like that one went to Reynolds. Left side, he's going to gain about 4 yards on the play.
And see, there's that belly style option. Now that stack eye, that time the quarterback put the ball in the belly of the fullback, saw the hole closing up, so he pulled it back out and gave it to a halfback who had a lead blocker in front of him in the next hole out. That's kind of how that stack eye operates. It's almost like a wishbone look, other than the backs are one behind the other.
Now they're going the standard eye. Thomas Clark is the fullback. They'll hand it off to Anthony Reynolds over the left side. He gets out past the 40-yard line, tackled right around the first down marker. Looks like he's going to be a little bit short. Should be 3rd and 1 here. Big play here now defensively for the Bruins.
You can tell he's a pretty shifty back, so one thing that you want to do against running backs like that is you want to stop them before they get going. So, you know, Coach Sheeler's looking to have a big game out of Deron Phillips. He's beefed up the defensive line a little bit with Timmy Seeger, trying to stop that fullback and that inside belly action that they've got out of that stack eye.
Doug Schaefer now enters the game for Quintel Starks. They're going to go back to the Maryland I. Thomas Clark, the fullback. Though looks like they're going to keep it. Churning the legs is Cody Utong. He fumbles it. And Blacksburg is pretty. It is Blacksburg ball. Cody Utong just trying to churn the legs, get that extra yardage, and it cost him on the play. He had the first down, and then he stripped late, so Blacksburg ball.
Somebody stripped him. I couldn't tell who it was that come in there and knocked the ball out, but great job when the ball hit the ground. A lot of blue jerseys flying around down there to make sure they get it. Blacksburg's got the ball again on the Liberty side of the field, going into the win, taking advantage of the first quarter right here. Good opportunity again for the offense.
So that'll be Blacksburg 1st and 10 at the Liberty 46-yard line. They're going to keep it in the I formation. Kevin Wilson and Ginda Smith in the backfield. Travis rolls over to the left looking to throw. No one open, so he tucks it. Gets out. Gains about 5 yards on the play. Gets to the 41. Should bring up 2nd and 5.
Smart play by your senior quarterback there. Nobody open down the field.
You can get 5 better than an incomplete pass. So plus, you know, you can't throw an interception if you don't throw it.
That's right. And, you know, he runs the ball so much and takes a beating. You know, you ask why does he go out of bounds if he's such a good athlete. Well, you know, coach told him get on out of bounds, stop the clock, keep from taking another hit, and let's get ready for the next play.
So you're going to say he only got 3 on the play. So 2nd and 7, they keep it in the I. Hand it off to Ginda Smith over to up the middle. He gets hit in the backfield, falls forward, but it looks like he's going to lose about a half yard on the play, so it'll bring up 3rd and 7.
Yeah, that nose guard Jerry Thompson from Liberty sitting in there at 6'1", 245, got a lot of penetration that time up the middle and just basically blew that play up before it ever got started. Good job by Ginda just to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, he took a pretty solid hit in the backfield about 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and then got hit again right at the line of scrimmage. But a good job of at least getting back, so it's a net gain of 0 as opposed to a loss of 2. So shotgun now. Travis takes the snap, blitz, rolls over to the right, finds. Looks like that he was trying to find Luke Grant, but the ball goes in and out of his hands. Pass was a little bit low, so Blacksburg is now going to be forced to punt after the 3 and out. Liberty breathes a sigh of relief as they're able to force the 3 and out after the fumble.
Interesting how Liberty lined up on defense that time. Blacksburg had trips to the right, and the only thing Liberty did was play the corner over here and just rolled the safety a little bit. The outside linebacker stayed in, so basically you had 1-on-3 on defense, and hopefully Coach got a good look at that.
We've got a whistle here before the play starts. Is that Brandon Austin deep to punt? Looks like they're calling.
Legal procedure against the Bruins, 5-yard penalty.
I think they're just calling a legal procedure on the Bruins. Might not have had enough men on the line of scrimmage, so it'll back them up 5 more yards. They'll kick it. Line of scrimmage now be at the 48. Yeah, it's Brandon Austin, the defensive tackle, to punt.
Yeah, and you got Anthony Reynolds for Liberty back there deep, and you certainly want to keep it out of his hands. Blocked.
The punt is blocked by Liberty. It's picked up by Liberty. That's Thomas Schachter, returns it inside the 25-yard line, tackled right at about the 20.
Got a flag down on the other side of the field, though.
Flag on the play.
False start.
Yeah, they're going to call another motion or formation penalty against Blacksburg, so this play should stand in order to be Liberty football now at the Blacksburg 20. We talked about clean play last week. We've already had a fumble and a blocked punt this week.
Right, and that was just a great play by the Liberty defender. And I'm not for sure which one it was, number 4.
Thomas Schachter.
Yeah, he came through. He was the only man rushing, stepped right into the punter, blocked it, picked it up, and ran it back all on his own.
So it is 1st and 10 for the Minutemen at the Blacksburg 20. They'll just go standard I formation with Thomas Clark and Anthony Reynolds in the backfield. Rolling over to the right, they throw it to Brawley, caught, gets inside the 10, pushed out of bounds at around the 4-yard line, first down for Breon Brawley. Good, good quick hitter on that one, gain of 15.
Same thing I was just talking about when Blacksburg was in trips over here. Liberty didn't send anybody out on the inside receivers. That time they were in a 2-receiver set in a normal eye, and the outside linebacker for Blacksburg didn't get over far enough, and they just throw a quick pass out to him for a big gain on offense.
So they'll keep it in the standard eye. Brawley and Quintel Starks wide. They'll hand it up the middle. That's Reynolds. He gains about 1 on the play, gets to the 4-yard line. So brings up 2nd and goal.
A lot of athletes out there on the field for Liberty, and a lot of options that they run offensively for the Blacksburg defense to stop. So a great play by the defense right there to limit them to short yardage.
Quintel Starks comes out of the game. Doug Schaefer replaces him.
Coach Watts is going back to the stack eye again.
They'll hand it to, it looks like they gave it to the fullback. He was down just in front of the goal line. I had trouble seeing who ended up having the ball.
There's 3 different options that the quarterback can give it to on one play. So, and they're all within 2 or 3 holes of each other. So it's tough to figure out which one actually gets the football.
I believe that went to Thomas Clark. He gets just shy of the goal line, so it'll be 3rd and goal with about a foot more to go.
You know, coming back to that punt that was blocked, it also looked like Brandon kind of went to the right, almost like a different style of punt, and punted it right into their player.
They'll keep it up the middle.
They stopped
Clark
him.
Gets stuffed.
What a great play, Ron Phillips and Kevin Wilson in
and
there.
So Blacksburg holds on 3rd down. It'll be 4th and goal at the 1. See if they elect to go for it or if they kick.
I mean, that
looks like they're going.
That ball was on the 1-foot line, and they stopped the fullback on a hard dive. What a great play. Good penetration by the line. See if Coach Watts elects to go wide this time.
They bring Schaefer back in. He goes wide, as does Breon Brawley. They'll keep it now regular I formation. Thomas Clark, Anthony Reynolds back there. They'll pitch it to Reynolds over the right side, and he's able to scoot into the end zone. Good job there, just spreading the play out, and Reynolds' speed. He's able to get the 1 foot they needed. And just like that, we've got a 7-6 ball game pending the PAT.
Change of momentum right off the bat. Blacksburg's offense takes the ball down the field and at ease and punches it in, and then you get a turnover, and then all of a sudden a block punt. Now it's a 7-7 football game again.
Looks like Anthony Reynolds set to kick the extra point. Kick is up, and it is good. So we have a tie game here with 5:17 left to go here in the first quarter. We're going to take a quick 30-second break. You're listening to ESPN Blacksburg's coverage of Blacksburg High School football.
Dude! Dude!
Dude!
Dude! Pick it up!
Pick it up!
Pick it up!
Pick it up!
Pick it up, Blacksburg.
Welcome back to Bill Brown Stadium. Liberty Minutemen just tied it up with a 1-yard Anthony Reynolds touchdown. So, surprise, surprise, the 2 touchdowns we have tonight by Terrence Travis and Anthony Reynolds.
People, our listeners, are going to get tired of hearing us say those 2 names tonight.
Back deep to return for Blacksburg. Jordan Porter had a 40-yard kickoff return to open up the game. Kickoff man for Liberty is Jerry Thompson, so he's a defensive tackle as well. A couple of defensive tackles in the kicking game for both these teams. High, short kick. Fair catch, but it's dropped. It is, and Blacksburg falls on it about the 24. That was Sam Robinson.
Sam Robinson falls on the kick.
Who falls on it.
The 25-yard line.
Liberty's trying to keep it away from Blacksburg's deep backs because they got some speed back there, as we've already seen in the first kickoff today.
So Blacksburg will take over at their own 24-yard line with 5:17 left here in the first quarter. This game is it's already at a slower pace than that Giles game. There were very few thrown passes and not a lot of turnovers. I mean, it was just long drive after long drive. Blacksburg comes out in the shotgun, 4 wide receivers. Again to Smith beside Travis. He hands it to Smith up the middle. Gets past the line of scrimmage. They're going to say his forward progress gets him out to the 26, so a gain of 2 on the play. Brings up 2nd and 8.
Yeah, good job by the weak side linebacker Corey Witt from Liberty, sticking his nose up in there reading the play. Outside linebacker like that a lot of times unaccounted for, because out of a 4-3 scheme, you think he's got outside contained and you can run up inside of him without blocking him, but he read the play good that time, stepped up in, filled the run lane, and brings up a 2nd and long for Blacksburg.
So now they'll move it to the I formation. Cameron Hamden, Jordan Porter, the 2 wide receivers. Handed off left side again to Smith up the middle, and he's got nowhere to go. He gains a foot, if anything. That'll bring up a 3rd and long. And there's just, not too surprising, there's not nearly as much running room this week, at least early on, as there was last week.
Right, and there again, that's because you're playing a much more athletic and a much quicker defense than, than what Giles had last week. And again, the 4-3 can cause you some problems. They got 7 people in the box. What you like to do is gash it inside and try to break the play. And so far, on the first 2 plays of this drive, it hasn't worked.
So 3rd and 9 it is officially. They're going to go shotgun, 3 wide receivers to the far side. And looks like we're going to get a false start here, so move them back 5 more yards.
Actually, I think the 25-second clock was about to run down, and Coach Chris saw it, called timeout real quick. So.
That's what it was. So Blacksburg timeout. And it looked like Gideon Smith was limping around a little bit in between plays. He's staying in, but looked like he was just a little bit shaken up after that last run.
And I see the trainer coming out there now towards the huddle where Coach has got him huddled up. I believe he does have something there tweaked a little bit, or something's bothering him. But, it's funny how football is a game of momentum, too. And to start this football game off, you get a 40-yard kickoff return, 15-yard penalty, and just in a matter of no time, you take the football down the field and you score. Then you go on defense and you create a turnover, and you've got all the momentum in the world, and all of a sudden a block punt changes the whole complexion of the game. Makes it a 7-7 football game, and then now you're looking at 3rd and long on your next offensive possession. And you're right, they're bringing Gideon Smith off the field now with the trainer to see what's going on with him.
And he took all the snaps at tailback last week for the Bruins. Kevin Wilson, Griffin Height each got 2 carries, but that was out of the fullback spot. So we'll see who fills in for him. Looks like Kevin Wilson's going to go back there. So he will move to the running back spot and replace Gideon Smith. They'll be in the shotgun. 4 wide receivers, 3 to the far side. Cameron Hamden to the near side. Travis takes the snap, looking to throw. Good pocket. Throws it. Has Jordan Porter, catches it about the 45-yard line. That's good for a 1st down. Good throw and catch there between the 2 seniors.
It's funny watching Liberty's front defensive 4. Nobody rushed the quarterback. They all stood up and they were all mirroring Travis. They were putting no pressure on him at all. They have contained responsibility, and nobody come after him that time. So he had all day to throw the football. But that's what Coach Watts is going to do. He's going to say, you're going to beat me with your arm, not your feet.
So they'll keep it in the shotgun, same formation. Kevin Wilson stays in the game. Travis takes the snap, takes it out of the belly of Wilson, breaks 1 tackle, goes over to the right side. He is brought down in the backfield. Looks like he loses about 3 yards on the play.
Just nowhere to go. That's that option play that Blacksburg has, where the quarterback reads a play. If it's open, he'll go ahead and give it to the tailback, hitting the hole inside. If it's not open, he can pull it and either follow him up inside or try to get a seam somewhere, and that time there's just no place for Terrence to go.
So 2nd and 13 now at the Blacksburg 37, under 3 minutes left to go here in the first quarter. Game is tied 7-7. Travis takes the snap, throws over to the left side, caught by Jordan Porter. tries to get past one man, but then he is brought down by a couple more defenders, tackled at the 41-yard line, so gain of 4 on the play, and I'll bring up yet another long third down play.
Well, you called it in the pregame. You was wanting to know where Jordan Porter was at. We're getting a full dose of Jordan Porter here in the first quarter of this football game.
So already has 3 catches so far in the first quarter. So 3rd and 9 now. Another Blacksburg converted big on a third down in their first drive when they scored a touchdown. See if they can duplicate that success. Shotgun, 2 wide receivers each side. Travis takes the snap, drops back, looking to throw. Throws, he's got Cameron Hampton, bobbles it but brings it in, caught at about the 45 of Liberty. Then he gets 2 more yards after the catch, brought down at the Liberty 43. Another big gain on third down.
You know, we talked about it last week, third down conversions. At one point in time, we said what Giles was like 6 for 8 on converting third downs, and that wouldn't make Coach Sheeler happy. And then here we've seen Blacksburg now with 2 consecutive third and longs and converted both of those. And as a defensive coordinator, that's your worst nightmare, not being able to get off the field on third down.
Yeah, Blacksburg was 7 of 9 themselves on third down last week. So keeping up some good third down offense. 1st and 10 at the 43. Travis drops back to throw. Tries to find Cameron Hampton. Can't reel it in. And then he is hit by Doug Schaefer. So incomplete pass. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, not much room to maneuver in there. The strong safety rolled right up in there and was there in pretty good time. And fortunately for Blacksburg, it didn't get intercepted, and nobody got killed.
It looks like Genda Smith still getting some attention over on the sidelines. Trainer stretching him out. It might be a cramp. I mean, it's pretty warm out here. So 2nd and 10, shotgun. Travis rolls over to the left now, looking to run, but still no running room. Looks like, I don't think he's going to get back to the line of scrimmage. He's going to lose 2 yards, and he's going to go down at about the 45, so that'll bring up another long third down.
When he turned the corner, it looked pretty good there. It looked like he was going to get something out of it, but the hole closed up fast. Liberty's got 3 or 4 people right there just mirroring him and trying to not let him get out and get running with his feet.
So 3rd and 11. Well, that hasn't been too difficult so far for him, except for the third down when they ended up punting and it got blocked. Looks like we're going to get a timeout called.
Officials timeout, something, blood on a jersey maybe or something. They're sending a player off from Liberty, and that's their quarterback. Looks like equipment. He's taking his helmet off, trying to fix his helmet.
Thomas Schachter comes in. And yeah, it's Cody Utong right now who's messing with his helmet.
Now Liberty's going to go ahead and take a timeout so he doesn't have to come out of the game.
So with 59 seconds left to go here in the first quarter, Liberty takes their first timeout of the half. We are tied up 7-7.
You see Genda Smith down here running a little bit on the sideline and putting his helmet back on, going back into the offensive huddle there at the numbers.
And it's just been about a 15-yard in route the last 2 times when Blacksburg converted, so we'll see if they run a similar pass scheme, go into different receivers. Cameron Hampton caught 1, Jordan Porter caught the first. So we'll see what Coach Chris draws up here.
Yeah, and routes like that should be open because, out of that 4-3, you got 2 outside linebackers sitting there that are responsible for the flats, and then you got 2 deep safeties behind them. So anything that you can get in between those with the linebacker going to the flats and in front of the safety should be a good play for Blacksburg, and that's what Coach has been working on so far here in the first quarter.
Genda Smith does head back to the sideline, though. Looks like they're going to be the I formation, 4 wide receivers, 2 to each side. Kevin Wilson still the running back. So 3rd and 11 now at the Liberty 44. Travis in the shotgun, takes the snap, looking to throw, gets blitzed, and now he's brought down in the backfield. Liberty's going to get a sack.
Travis is sacked on the play.
And so Blacksburg's going to have to punt.
Yeah, once again, the only pressure that Liberty is sending is from the weak side linebacker position, and that's who's putting the pressure on Travis. 4 defensive linemen are just standing up mirroring everything he does to try to keep him in the pocket and keep him from getting out and running.
And it looked like it was just a little bit of a delayed blitz there for him to think that he had a good pocket, and then they brought the linebacker. So a loss of 4 on the play. This punt is up, end over end, bounces at the 20, and then rolls back a Liberty bounce, and Blacksburg will down at about the 24-yard line, so Reynolds now with an opportunity to return that one. And not great field position here for Liberty.
No, but that's effective. At least you change the field position from down, inside your own territory to inside the 25 of Liberty, and punting the ball away from Reynolds is not a bad idea either.
So Liberty ball now, 15 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. Tie game, 7-7. They'll go back to that power I. Rolls over to the left as Utong has a wide receiver, but it's just in and out of the hands of Matt Kerr. Had him open for about 5 yards, but he just looked like it was one of the case of running before you catch.
Absolutely. Turned to look up the field before he got there, and a great pass by Utong, great play fake. He did an excellent job right there selling the fake to the weak side and then coming back throwing to the short side of the field to the tight end.
So just 5 seconds roll off the clock on that one. 10 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. Keep it in that offset I. Thomas Clark, the fullback. They'll hand it off to Brawley on the right side. Nowhere to go. He's brought down in the backfield. Well, I think they're going to give him his forward momentum right at the line of scrimmage. So that'll do it here for the first quarter. We're going to take a 30-second break, and then when we come back, we will have third down here for Liberty. You're listening to ESPN Blacksburg's coverage of Blacksburg High School football.
Take my hand and start a brand new day.
Underneath everything we are, underneath everything we do, we are all people, connected, interdependent, united. And when we reach out a hand to one, we can influence the condition of all. That's what it means to live united.
Together as one, we'll be stronger in every way.
Welcome back to Bill Brown Stadium at David Chris Field. We've got a pretty good contest so far here through the first quarter. Blacksburg tied with Liberty 7-7. Terrence Travis had a 28-yard touchdown run on the first drive of the game, and then Anthony Reynolds later in the first quarter had a 1-yard touchdown run to even it up. Terrence Travis 4 of 7 for 37 yards there in the first quarter. Only 2 attempted passes for Liberty. Cody Utong 1 of 2 for 15 yards. So it's 3rd and 10 now at the 24 to start the second quarter here for Liberty. Utong rolls over to the right, a lot of pressure. Ball is caught. Pretty nice one-handed catch there by Thomas Clark, but it doesn't do any good as he's brought down to the 25, so a gain of 1. And that'll be 4th down.
Big stick there by Kevin Wilson coming up from the linebacker position. Really hit Utong when he caught the football and setting the tone right there. Great defensive play, good pressure on the quarterback, outside linebacker in place to make the play. Excellent job of Blacksburg's defense.
Interesting with a left-handed quarterback, Utong, that they rolled him over to the right side. I mean, it's just not a comfortable way to throw the ball. The pass was pretty well behind Clark. Good catch, just, 9 yards short of the first down. So back deep to return, Travis and Porter. Ball is reeled in by Porter at his own 40. Now goes up, hit and tackled at about the 44-yard line. Good coverage there by Liberty, but Blacksburg will have pretty good field position one more time. And that's something that we didn't have last week. Well, the typical field position really wasn't that great. And Blacksburg's already started at the Liberty 43, the Liberty 46, and now their own 45-yard line.
Well, and some of the touchdowns that we saw last week never came inside somebody's own 30-yard line.
Yeah.
Everything was from the 30 out.
Took a while for our first red zone play.
Yeah. So, with a much quicker defense that you're playing against, your opportunity for those big type of plays, are not as good. So,
and we will get you some score updates as soon as we get them. But as of right now, the only score we've got for you is Blacksburg 7, Liberty 7. Blacksburg comes out in the I formation. Ginda Smith is the tailback. They'll hand it to him over to the right side. Not a lot of room to work with. He gets up, gains about, looks like they're just going to give him back to the line of scrimmage, so no gain on the play, 2nd and 10.
I did get one text from one of our listeners. I asked him if he had any scores for me yet, and he said Potomac 1, the Salem Red Sox nothing. So I told him, I said I needed football, not baseball.
You're going to keep it in the I formation. Kevin Wilson still the fullback. Jordan Porter, Cameron Hammond are the 2 wide receivers to the far side of the field. Travis rolls over to the right looking to throw. Nobody open, evades one tackler, and he just has to go out of bounds. He's going to lose about 3 yards on the play. Liberty doing a really good job after that first series of bottling up Travis and not giving him anywhere to go.
Yeah, you don't think they were here last week scouting Blacksburg. They had 4 people. Again, I've said it several times in the first quarter that the defensive linemen aren't the ones that's putting any pressure on Terrence, because all 4 of them are just running laterally up and down the line of scrimmage, mirroring him so that he can't get out of the pocket and get up the field.
So he threw 6 passes all of the Giles game. He's already thrown 7 so far tonight. 3rd and 12 now. Shotgun, 4 wide receivers. Travis takes the snap. Blitz. Evades the blitz. But he gets tackled by one of the defensive linemen. Good job defensively there for Liberty. No gain on the play, but most importantly for Liberty, they force a punt. Good job by Travis there to evade that initial rush. But Liberty defensive linemen were in place. Because had he gotten through that seam, he would have had a lot of daylight, as they looked like 3 guys on a blitz.
Yeah, and again, that's what Liberty has settled into as a game plan for this plan. They're going to apply pressure with the linebackers and mirror with the defensive linemen.
So Brandon Austin back to punt, takes it. This one is up high, punt there, over the head of Anthony Reynolds, catches it, trailing back at about the 18-yard line, gets out past the 30, now makes one cut, tackled, and brought down at about the 43-yard line. So 24-yard return there by Anthony Reynolds. And now Liberty set up with some pretty good field position.
Yep, and Blacksburg that time had to win, so Austin punted it real high, and Reynolds went back and called it. And again, you saw a glimpse of his speed right there, how he can get up the field and make a couple of people miss. And Liberty starting off now with really good field position up around the 43-yard line.
There's a really nice punt there by Austin, but it only nets 12 yards with the big return. So 1st and 10 with 9.5 minutes left to go here in the half. Liberty ball, they come out. They'll hand it over to Reynolds' left side. He is brought down right about the 49-yard line. Gain of 5 on the play.
Good job by Jordan Porter coming in from the corner spot, filling the run lane right there. Again, they double dive to 1 hole and hit the 3. So people have got to play gap responsibility and stay at home.
Quintel Starks checks back into the game now for Liberty. He goes out at wide receiver. Now they'll hand it up the middle to Thomas Clark. No, they pitch it over to the left side to Reynolds.
Fumbles.
Now, looks like he tried to option it.
Oh,
Thomas Clark picks it up, though, and now he's going to go into the end zone. Anthony Reynolds fumbles it. It goes off of a Blacksburg foot. Thomas Clark picks it up as it bounces forward, and he goes in untouched into the end zone, and now Liberty goes up 13-7.
I don't know that Reynolds ever had it. I think Uton had it the whole time on an option, but we've seen that out of Liberty before over the last couple of years. Reynolds will run with him all the way down the field, and if the quarterback's getting ready to get tackled, he'll pitch it out towards the sideline.
It looked like it was a very, very late option play, and the pitch was just very errant, but big break there for Liberty as it bounces off a foot, and then it scoots right in the hands of Thomas Clark, who takes it in for the touchdown. Extra point is up, and it is good by Anthony Reynolds. So it was a 51-yard touchdown at the end of it. Thomas Clark picks it up. That was a bizarre turn of events, because it was Reynolds following him, a late pitch, nowhere close to Anthony Reynolds, and it just takes a lucky bounce. Thomas Clark says, "Hello, I'll turn around, and I will just rumble right into the end zone."
Yeah, what's funny about it is the fullback, Clark, was running up the field on the right-hand side of Uton, and Reynolds was on the left. Uton goes to pitch the ball and drops it and kicks it, and it goes to the right, and the fullback picks it up, runs it all the way down the field for a touchdown.
So with 8:48 left here in the first half, Blacksburg finds themselves down for the first time this season, and Terrence Travis is not back to, or is not, well, he's not on the kick return team typically. It just looked like Jacob Overcash was going back a little bit further than usual. I thought they had 2 back today, or on this one, but they don't. So it's Jordan Porter deep to return.
Looks like Thompson is setting up all the way up. They're setting the ball on the tee
all the way
over
on the
here
hash.
On the hash this time, so maybe something a little different for Liberty to try to keep the ball out of Jordan Porter's hands here. We'll see what they got planned.
So Jerry Thompson, kick is up high over to the right side. Porter catches it at about the 15-yard line. Gets past one tackler, now up to the 20, 25. And he is going to go out of bounds at the 27-yard line.
It's too much athleticism out there for Liberty for Jordan to be shaking and baking. He just needs to get up the field and get everything that he can and go on. And he telling coach he needs a break, needs to catch his breath here. He's played basically every play so far to this point in the game.
Yeah, Blacksburg has 6 guys who start both ways, so fatigue is definitely going to be a factor. They've got to have some backup players who are ready to go in and give those guys a spell for at least a few downs.
Yeah. Blacksburg now driving the ball towards the concession stand side of this football field, and they've got the wind to their back now, so we'll see if that will help Terrence Travis's passing.
So they go to the shotgun, but they'll have two running backs, Kevin Wilson and Genda Smith, beside Travis. It looks like Travis takes a snap, goes over to the right side, throws the shoulder down, pushes forward, gets an extra few yards. He's tackled right around the first down marker, gain of about 9 on the play.
Terrence Travis just lowered his shoulder and ran over Jerry Thompson, the nose guard, who's 6'1", 245 pounds. Knocked him backwards and picked up 4 more yards on the carry. Just a hard-nosed run by your quarterback.
So 2nd and 1 now at the 35. See if they stick with that 2 running back. No, they're going to move it back to the I formation now. Kevin Wilson getting to Smith back there. Cameron Hamden, the lone wide receiver. And it looks like we've got a timeout.
Don't have the right personnel in the game. Looks like
timeout called by Blacksburg.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We only have 10 players on the field.
So with 8 minutes left to go here in the first half, it is Liberty leading 14-7 after the Thomas Clark fumble recovery and run for a touchdown. He took it about 25 yards. The play in its entirety was 51 yards, so it's just a 2-play drive for Liberty to take the lead.
On a play that you probably couldn't even write up in the dirt if you had to.
No, I really don't think you could. Be just with the way the ball bounced. I mean, there was a Blacksburg defender right on it, and before he can even try to dive on it, it just bounced off of his foot. And with the force of the pitch, it bounced forward by about 10 yards, away from absolutely everybody, except for Thomas Clark, who had just run his, not route, but his play all the way.
Yeah, working right down the middle of the field.
So Blacksburg comes out now, 2nd and 1, keeping the I formation. Travis sneaks it up the middle, and he is tackled. Looks like he's going to get across the first down marker. Interesting play call there on 2nd down. Wouldn't think that would be one that would warrant a quarterback sneak, but
yeah. Well, coach,
it works out in the end.
Coach likes to keep the chains moving, keep the clock moving, and keeping the momentum for your offense.
Parker Robertson, the tight end, checks in now for Blacksburg. Luke Grant and Cameron Hamden, the 2 wide receivers, as Jordan Porter is on the sideline getting a deserved break. They'll keep it, move it to the shotgun now. Kevin Wilson getting to Smith in the backfield. Travis takes the snap. Quarterback draw, takes it over to the right side, gets a few blocks, and he's going to get about 8 yards.
Out across the 45-yard line.
Out past the 45, tackled at about the 47, right around the first down marker.
Actually,
or they're going to put it on the 45, so gain of 8 on the play. So good couple design runs over to the right side here by Coach Chris to just try and get Terrence Travis back in the groove of things, as he'd had a lot of trouble there late in the first quarter to get anything going.
Well, like I said, they got 4 people mirroring him right there, so on a design run play, your blocking schemes are set up to where you can block for him, and he's getting a little more room to run in those particular situations.
They'll keep it in the shotgun with the 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, another design quarterback run for Travis. He is brought down, falls down right around the first down marker. With the spot, it looks like they're going to give it to him. Now when they place the ball, he is a little bit short, so 3rd and 1. Miles Hyder now checks in. No, he just relays in the he checks in as wide receiver. They're going to keep it, put it now in the I formation.
Comes a strong safety up, looks like coming on a blitz.
They'll hand it to... Oh, no, Terrence Travis keeps it. Now he gets out past the line. He's got nobody, no safety back, and Terrence Travis is going to take this into the end zone. Almost untouched. Good decision there to pull that out of the fullback's belly, and Terrence Travis takes that one.
Absolutely.
54 yards for the touchdown.
Absolutely. It's just a matter of time. That time Liberty brings everybody up inside. They stunt their way out of the play. All he's got to do is break the first level of containment. Once he does that, it's a foot race to the end zone, and he's not going to lose too many of those.
And they really hurt themselves. They brought a safety blitz from the far side of where the play was designed, and then Anthony Reynolds, the safety, also motioned over towards us, and so there was absolutely no one on the right side where Travis ran, and he goes in 54 yards for the touchdown to tie this game up, assuming Carson Wise's PAT goes through, which it does, and so we have ourselves a tie ball game. Things weren't looking too good offensively for the Bruins there late in the first quarter, but then Coach Chris changes it up, changes just a few running plays for Terrence Travis, and I thought for certain that was in the belly of Kevin Wilson, but he ripped it out, and good decision there for Travis.
Once again, it's a belly option. You know, the varsity football coaches had to give the quarterback the option that when he puts a football in the belly, if the hole's closing down, he can read it and pull it, either follow his back up in the hole or go another gap out, and he went another gap out. Everybody stunted off inside, and it created the big seam for Blacksburg to score the touchdown.
So just another pretty short drive there. 2 minutes, 44 seconds off the clock, 5 plays. But they did go 74 yards. And so Blacksburg ties it up at 14. And we've got ourselves a whole new ball game after that.
Well, the momentum, the momentum has now swung again. In the first quarter early, it was Blacksburg with the big kick return, going right down the field and scoring, and then recovering the fumble. And then the block punt, Liberty took over the momentum and scored 2 touchdowns. So good job by Blacksburg's offense right there. Coach calls, 4 or 5 consecutive plays for a star quarterback, put it in his hands and let him take control of the game, and that's what he did. So now we've got the momentum and the win right here for Kevin Wilson on this kickoff.
And just a fatal decision there for Liberty to blitz safety Cody Utong and move Anthony Reynolds, the other safety, over. This kickoff is mishandled by Breon Brawley. It goes into the end zone, so it's an automatic touchback. So no kickoff return here for Liberty. They're going to take over at their own 20 with 5:54 left to go here in the half.
Sure, Kevin Wilson kicking towards the concession stand side of the football field and still looking at the flags, whipping pretty hard down there on the flagpole. Got a lot of foot in that. That ball was probably going to go in the end zone anyways, but the Liberty back fumbled it and then kicked it back there himself. So automatic touchback when the ball crosses the goal line.
So Terrence Travis has touchdown runs of 43 and 54 yards here in the first half alone. They'll hand it over to Reynolds on the right side, and good contain, and then Duron Phillips comes back and he lays the hit on him. They're going to say a short gain on the play, but good job of just extending the play out there. I believe that it was Jordan Porter on the contain, and then Duron Phillips with the tackle.
Well, there's the big guy. You know, we talked last week how he had to have a big game against the Poland guard and Giles in the single wing, and he's been a little quiet here in the first half of this game. His role not as important, but now he's starting to come to life a little bit. Hopefully he'll start taking over, whoever he's going against and start playing in the backfield there and causing a lot of problems for that stack eye.
And that was Genda Smith, that did the good job containing and pushing Reynolds back. This time they will hand it up the middle to Clark. No running room on that one. Gets about a yard. So that'll bring up a 3rd and long. Blacksburg hoping to force a 3 and out, get the ball back, see if they can keep this momentum and get a lead.
It's about 2 yards on the play.
And that was a good job by the defensive front of Blacksburg, again, getting penetration right there. The thing that hurts that offense the most is guys who penetrate either in A or B gaps, and that's what they're getting so far in the first 2 plays of this drive.
They'll keep it in that power eye. Now they'll pitch it over to Reynolds on the left side. He's got some running room. He's got the first down off past the 35, pushed out of bounds at about the 44 by Luke Grant. And that's just speed. They pitched it out there, and Blacksburg just couldn't get to him in time. Got a couple good blocks downfield.
Yeah,
third down conversion.
Yeah, caught Cameron Handon a little bit out of position right there at the corner. The corner's got the pitch man, defensive end. You want to take the quarterback, and Cameron was a little bit too far inside, and Reynolds got outside on the boundary.
Gain of 18 on the play, so 1st and 10 at the 39. It looks like they're going to keep it up the middle.
Fumble.
Looks like we've got a fumble. Let's see who ends up with it. Blacksburg ball. Luke Grant comes up with the loose ball. So he pushes Reynolds out of bounds on the last play to save a touchdown, and this time he comes up with the fumble. So Blacksburg ball inside Liberty territory.
We appreciate the help of our new spotter we got in the booth with us, Coach Cromer, the head 8th grade football coach, has joined us up here, and he knows all these kids. He's coached them for years, both in Sandlot and on the 8th grade football level, and he knew exactly who had it, JD. So it's good to have him.
So this is the 3rd time Blacksburg will start inside Liberty territory. One time they got a touchdown, one time 3 and out. So let's see which trend starts. Shotgun, Travis looking to throw, throws deep. He's got Jordan Porter, but this is over the head of everybody. Anthony Reynolds a little bit on the defense as well.
Throwing all the way back across the field that time, left it just a little bit short. Gave the free safety time to get over there and knock the play down. Jordan couldn't quite get up and get it.
But I mean, good play call there, because just by going deep, you're making them think about it. You know, you can't just stack the box, because we'll throw it deep, and if you put your safeties in the box, it'll be wide open. So just good. It doesn't get you any yards, but it's a good play to keep the safeties in check. Keep it in the shotgun. Travis over the right side. He is brought down from behind. He gets about 2 on the play, so it'll bring up 3rd and 8.
Yeah, good play by the outside linebacker, Thomas Shatner there. He come all the way from the backside and caught Terrence on the quarterback draw before he could actually get going. So brings up another 3rd and long for Blacksburg's offense.
Looks like Kevin Wilson's going to come out, as does Parker Robertson. I would imagine they'll now go 4 wide receivers. Jordan Porter is in the game, as I mentioned just a minute ago, as they threw to him. 3 wide receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. It's Luke Grant. Travis in the shotgun, low snap, fumbles it. Now he rolls over to the left, looking to throw. And he is he's not brought down in the backfield. Rolls over to the right, throws it towards Jordan Porter. Good decision, just kind of throw it away. And Blacksburg's now going to have to punt, but it almost looked like he was going to lose about 20 yards on that play.
Yeah, he's fortunate that he got out of there, and a good job by just throwing it away once he did, and preventing that long loss of yardage there for Blacksburg's offense.
It's got to be frustrating, though, for Coach Chris. The last they've had possessions that started at the Liberty 46 and the Liberty 44. They went 3 and out in both of those possessions.
Yeah. Hopefully Austin can get a good punt off here and pin that offense deep.
3:17 left to go here in the half. Austin's punt is up. Looks like this one's just going to sail into the end zone. So Reynolds can't hurt you on that, but in the end's only a 23-yard punt, as Liberty will have it at their own 20.
You kicked it right down the middle of the field. You'd like to see him at least take a chance and maybe try to hit the corner, but there again, it's still better than giving Reynolds a shot to break a long one here with 3:11 to go in the game.
Yeah, already had a 21-yard punt return earlier.
Yeah, big possession here now for Blacksburg's defense. You got to hold them here with 3:11 to go in the half. You don't want them to go up or get any points out of this drive, and you want to keep them stalled. Especially
with Liberty winning the coin toss and deferring to the second half. If Liberty scores here, they're going to get the ball to start the second half as well. So you definitely don't want to give up any points here if you're Blacksburg. So Liberty comes out now in the shotgun. They'll hand it in motion to the right side. And just pushed out of bounds is number 10, Quintrell Stark. Good job extending that play was the Blacksburg defense, and eventually he was brought down by Brandon Austin.
Yeah, excellent job by the defense, staying one step behind him in pursuit. Great, good pursuit angles, no place for him to cut back, no place for him to go, and eventually ran out of real estate over here on the Blacksburg sideline.
And he actually lost about 2 yards on the play. It looked like, at least from the angle I had, he was parallel with the line of scrimmage, but lost it 2, so 2nd and 12 now. And they're going to keep it in the shotgun. 4 wide receivers.
Empty. No backs.
Utong takes it now. He runs over to the right side. and he is brought down from behind. Good tackle there by Deron Phillips because he had a lot of room in front of him.
Good pursuit by your big defensive tackle from the inside spot.
Gain of 5 on the play. It's going to be 3rd and 6.
You know, Clark and Reynolds are good runners, but Uton can run the football well, too. That time they spread the field. They go empty with no backs in the game, had 5 wide receivers, and they just trying to create run lanes for Uton, who runs just as well as the running backs they got.
And they got a good block. I mean, if Deron Phillips doesn't make that tackle, he gets at least 25 yards on that play.
Same formation.
So now dropping back to passes, Utong throws it up in the air, looking for Reynolds, and it's just out of the reach of Reynolds as he gets past the defense. So that'll bring up 4th down, and it looks like Liberty is going to have to punt.
And of course,
and now if you're Blacksburg, you know, you're thinking incomplete pass. We've got 1:40 left to go here. We've got, what, 2 timeouts or 1 timeout left?
Just one. We've had to burn a couple.
Well, when you've got a guy who can score from 51 yards out.
Absolutely. Yep, you never know. And you know, if they can field the punt and catch it, you know, they'll have the ball on the Liberty side of the football field once again.
Even with a fair catch, I mean, they're standing at their own 42, so they should get really good field position here as it's Travis and Porter deep to return. Thomas Clark set to punt it. And now we've got a penalty before the play. Can't tell. And it's a formation penalty.
Legal procedure against Liberty.
The legal procedure, so marching back 5 more yards. So back to the 20. So that just, you know, it's going to help out field position for the Bruins just a little bit more.
You'd like to see a good return here by your 2 speedsters, who both of them are deep for Blacksburg right now on the punt return team.
Clark takes the snap. Punt is up. Fair catch by Terrence Travis. He brings it down at about the 47-yard line of Liberty. So once again, Blacksburg has started 4 drives now. Liberty 43, 46, 44, and 47. They've had some really, really good field position so far here in the first half. They do have 2 touchdowns. But if you're Coach Chris, you really want to take advantage here with just 1:35 left to go in the half. Go up by at least 3 points. Got to get something here out of this.
Just got a halftime score out of Giles. It's Christiansburg 28, Giles nothing at halftime.
Not too surprising with how good Christiansburg is supposed to be as the number 2 in the Timesland this year. So I formation, Travis. Now he takes it over to the left side, breaks 1 tackle out past the 40. He's only got 1 guy to beat, and he is brought down. Good open field tackle there by Quintrell Starks. Just another play where he has the quarterback option to hand it off to the fullback or keep it himself, and he just completely changes up the defense, takes it to the left side. Gain of about 26 yards on the play. He looks a little bit tired.
Yeah, he does. He's been, you know, the last 2 drives or last 2 possessions for Blacksburg on offense, he's been doing it all. He's run the ball, what, 7, 8 plays out of the last 2 possessions. So, you know, give it to your superstar and let him go to work.
I would imagine he's going to hand it off on this play. He looks pretty tired. We're now under 1:10 left to go at the half. 1st and 10 at the Liberty 21. Hands it off. Smith right side. Gets past 1 defender. Now he's inside the 20 down around the 16-yard line. So ends up getting 5 when there wasn't a big hole there, but the clock does keep moving inside a minute.
Got to manage the clock.
So they're going to need to hurry it up here.
Still got a timeout left.
Kevin Wilson's coming off the field. I think they're going to go shotgun. Miles Hyder also coming out. Now they're going to keep. They put Griffin Height now, so they keep it I formation. Under 40 seconds left to go. Travis drops back, looking to throw, rolls right. Now he is upended.
Need to call timeout.
Loses about a yard on the play, so that's going to bring up a 3rd and 5 with 24 seconds left, and now we're going to get a timeout. Blacksburg.
Now, if you coach Chris, you sure would like to have those other 2 timeouts that you had to burn earlier in the football game.
Interesting that they keep it in the I formation, though, for those last 2 plays. I mean, you're not on the goal line. You still have 20 yards to go, and you've got to think if you're going to get the field goal, you want to give Carson Wise a little bit more room. I saw him hit a few times from 42 yards before the game started. He's got leg. And
he's got the wind to his back because Blacksburg is driving towards a concession stand side of Bill Brown Stadium here, and the wind is blowing straight into the concession stand from the field outside. So
not blowing quite as hard as it was before the game, but it is a consistent breeze. So it's 3rd and 6 at the Liberty 17-yard line. 22 seconds left to go here in the half. Blacksburg now out of timeouts. They're going to come out in the shotgun. Cameron Hamden, Jordan Porter, Miles Hyder, and Luke Grant, the running back or the wide receivers. Genda Smith, the tailback beside Travis.
Probably going to have to throw it from here out.
Travis takes the snap, drops back, looking to throw, rolls over to the left now, gets a little pressure, hucks it up, and this one's just going to go out of the end zone. Looks for Jordan Porter, but he can't catch that one inbounds. So it's going to bring up 4th and 6 now at the 17-yard line. It looks like they're going to attempt the field goal.
And here comes the freshman.
Let's see if Coach Chris talked about his poise when I spoke with him earlier today. See if this is a big kick to give the Bruins the lead heading into the second half.
From the right hash, kicking back across against himself, too.
They're setting down right at the 24, so it's a 34-yard kick. He made a 35-yarder last week. He's got the leg. Snap, good. Holds up. Kick is up. It's got the leg, and this one is
good.
Good. Carson Wise nails the 34-yard field goal. And Blacksburg now leads at 17-14 with 14 seconds left to go here in the first half. That's one of the reasons one of the things that haunted them last year, especially in this Liberty game, missed field goals and missed PATs. But Carson Wise, the freshman, comes up huge for the Bruins.
Absolutely, and we saw him kick last year as an 8th grader, and he kicked well, and he and his dad have been working on field goal kicking for several years now. He's a soccer player, baseball, an all-around sports athlete, and there again he just he'd go to practice and practice one sport, and when it was done, you'd see him and his dad over at the high school at the goalpost practicing kicking field goals, at an early age. So he's been kicking for several years now, and it's really paying off so far in the first 2 games for the Bruins.
So with 14 seconds left to go here in the half, you have to kick it off. You've got to hope Kevin Wilson just gets a hold of this thing and they can get a touchback, because having Breon Brawley and Anthony Reynolds back deep to return, there's no telling what could happen with the athleticism and speed those two have.
I don't think I'd kick it to either one of them. Kick it to an up back up here somewhere and just try to get down the field and cover him. Of course, he's got the wind to his back, and the last kickoff going in this direction, he kicked it pretty good. It probably may have made it in the end zone had they not called it.
Yeah, it was fielded at about the 2, still in the air. So, yeah, low squib kick.
Right to the up back.
Picked up at about the 28, brings it up, still going, tackled now around the 36. They're going to say his momentum got him to the 40. So 6 seconds left to go here in the half. See if Liberty chucks one up here on the last play.
Somebody down there must have heard me, JD. They kicked it right to the up back like we talked about. It ran 8 seconds off the clock. Liberty's calling timeout now with only 6 seconds to go in the half. So they may take a long shot at it here going into the win.
That's something I've never really understood is why not? If there's only 6 seconds left, just throw it deep one time. If it's incomplete, it's incomplete. It's very unlikely that you're going to throw it deep, have them intercept it at the 10-yard line, then go 90 yards for a touchdown. So if you intercept it, yes, it's bad for the statistics, but at the end of the day, mostly only good things can happen.
Sure, because, Blacksburg will probably take their defensive backs and play them deep anyways, and deepen up, Coach Sheeler will probably deepen up his linebackers a little bit to try to prevent a big play or a big run from happening. And
Terrence Travis now comes out onto the field, not too surprising.
Yeah, you take your speed and you put it back there and you play 2 safeties just in case, and that's what they're going to do. The corners are about 17, 18 yards deep, and the safeties are about 20.
Yeah, so they'll come out in the shotgun with 4 wide. Utong takes the snap, looks to throw, fires it deep to the left side, and this is intercepted by Travis, who fumbles. It's picked up by Liberty, and that's how the first half ends. I think they ruled it an interception and a fumble.
He did, because he's marking the football right there, but time's run off, so that's going to end the first half.
So yeah, at the end of the half, though, Blacksburg leads Liberty by a score of 17-14. We talked about the 2 playmakers, Terrence Travis and Anthony Reynolds in the pregame, and they have not disappointed. Terrence Travis with 2 touchdown runs, one of 28 and one of 54. And then Anthony Reynolds got a touchdown run as well. That one only 1 yard, so not nearly as exciting, but he gets on the scoreboard. But Blacksburg leads it by 17-14. We're going to send it back to the studio, and Mason Engelhart will have your halftime update.
Farmers markets are really key both for producers and consumers. It gives consumers an opportunity to know where their food comes from.
Personally, I think it's very important that you have a local community and people interested in local food.
The vendors, the friends, and the customers all form this community of people.
I think it's a big social gathering place, as well as a source for fresh produce. And
when you have direct contact with the people who are buying your products, you're going to care.
The farmers market has been really great. It's a really wonderful place. You meet and talk to a lot of people.
I personally, of course, I'm involved, but I think it's one of the best things about Blacksburg that we've got this incredible, vital community.
I think that it is a community building opportunity for everybody involved.
So Blacksburg to kick off, it'll be Kevin Wilson, and so they do elect to have the wind in their face in the third quarter. It'll be at their backs in the fourth. Just an interesting note, Kevin Wilson kick off, caught at about the 10-yard line by Brawley, out past the 20 to the 25, now past the 30. He's out past, he's only got one man to beat. And he is brought down at the Blacksburg 35. Good job there by Ginda Smith to put him back to the rest of the defense to prevent the touchdown. But big kickoff return there for Breon Brawley as he just went right up the middle. Got some good blocks. And so Liberty is set up in great field position at the 34-yard line of Blacksburg.
Just like that, we talked about speedy athletes and speedy players and how they can change the complexion of a football game in a hurry, and right there they just did.
And that's why they squibbed it after the field goal.
Absolutely.
That's exactly why they squibbed it, because they didn't want something like that to happen with 14 seconds left. But now they've got the entire third quarter. Blacksburg had a few possessions that started in Liberty territory. They went 3 and out, so they'll see if their defense can return the favor. Coming out in the 3-man eye. Now they'll hand it over left side to Reynolds. No, he keeps it. Quarterback keeps it over the left side. He is tackled. Looks like that's Jordan Porter on the tackle, but Utong keeps it. He gets up to about the 16-yard line. Gain of 20 on the play. Big gain there for Liberty.
Yeah, that time Utong faked it to the fullback and faked it to the halfback and kept it around the end, and you couldn't tell which one of the three had the football. Just a great job covering the football.
It's funny how different the offensive formations are from the 2 weeks, but yet the offenses are still very similar.
Liberty's got huge splits over here, too.
This time they will, again, he keeps it over to the left side and looks like he's going to go into the end zone. Yes, he does. That is Cody Utong, 16-yard touchdown, so 2 plays into the second half. And Liberty finds themselves back in the lead, 20-17 right now.
Just like that, their offensive linemen for Liberty are taking them 3- and 4-foot splits on the side that they're wanting to run the football, and they're just double diving it in each one of those holes, and the quarterback keeps it around the end untouched for a touchdown.
And you talked about, they started running him a little bit more towards the end of the first half. You said he runs about as well as the other running backs, and looks like they have taken advice.
He does. Yep.
So now it's Anthony Reynolds set to kick the PAT. It is up, and it is good. So now the Liberty Minutemen back in the leads, 21-17. And that's, if you're Coach Chris, that's exactly how you didn't want the second half to start.
Absolutely. It took 50 seconds right there for them to retake the lead here in a tight neck-and-neck football game. So just got to get over the shell shock a little bit here, take this kick off, and do the same thing if you're on the offense, and try to keep the Big M, Big Mo on your side here.
A 2-play, 34-yard drive, if that's what you want to call it. Really helped out there by the great kickoff return by Breon Brawley, and so Blacksburg finds themselves trailing once again. We'll see if they can bounce back and score some points on their opening drive here in the second half. Jordan Porter set back deep to return the kick.
Same play, too. 2 times in a row.
Yeah. If it ain't broke, don't
fix it. That's right. 20 yards the first time, and what was
16.
it? 16 the second time.
That's got to be really, really frustrating if you're Coach Sheeler. You just saw this play, but when he's got 3 different options to hand it off, you can't over pursue to one side because then he'll just hand it off to fullback.
Right.
And gash it that way. So a squib kick on this one. Bounce takes a funny hop, and it's caught at about the 20-yard line by Jacob Overcash. He goes out of bounds. It's about 7 yards on the return.
Almost looked like he wanted to pitch that back to Jordan Porter, didn't it?
He probably made the wise decision to not pitch it to him. So he actually gets it to the 20-yard line, so that's where the Bruins will start. Not quite as good a field position as Liberty started, but they went 74 yards earlier this evening on a touchdown drive.
Just looking at the Liberty sideline over there, I see a lot of players that are out of uniform just wearing a jersey, and I was trying to figure out if I just noticed them if they'd had some injuries or something, but I think those are sophomores.
So Travis in the I formation hands it over to Genda Smith, and he fumbles it. Ball still loose. It's picked up by Anthony Reynolds, and he's going to take it into the end zone. That ball would just find its way right into Anthony Reynolds' hands as he's already heading towards the end zone.
That's 2 tonight that's bounced right up into their hands, and this is the worst nightmare you could possibly have if you're Blacksburg.
Well, when I said somebody could break this game open by 2 touchdowns, I didn't mean in the first 64 seconds.
Yep.
Holy crap. Genda Smith just trying to push the pile. Ball squirts out. Anthony Reynolds picks it up cleanly, takes it in about 26 yards for the touchdown. And now he is set to kick the extra point. It's up and it is good. So just like that, 28-17, Blacksburg finds themselves down by 11. And they find themselves hit by the Liberty Minutemen train.
Yeah, and it happened quick, too. And now you just got to catch your breath, reset. There's a whole lot of football still left to be played. And if you're Blacksburg, no, you don't need to go to panic mode yet. Just put the ball in the hands of your offense, grind it down, and put yourself back in this thing.
And, if you're Coach Chris, this is really when you find out what kind of football team you've got. You're down, things go about as poorly as they could have to start the second half. You're down 11. So it's really easy to get your head down, but you've still got an entire half to play. I mean, we're only 64 seconds in. You don't have to change the offense or anything. You're only down by 11, but this is, gut check time. He's going to find out, how some of these new guys, how they're going to respond to the adversity.
And, we haven't mentioned yet either, but, Coach Sheeler's defense, again, has got the 2 sophomores on the corner and 2 sophomore outside linebackers playing on defense. So, that's one reason maybe why Utah could get outside. They're in there and they're playing the dives, and all of a sudden the quarterback pulls and goes around the end. So, it's just tough all the way around playing with the young players and playing responsibility football. But so far they've done a good job. They just got to get back in this thing here a little bit and get going.
Let's see if Jerry Thompson kicks this one deep, if he's going to squib it again. And no, it's a squib, but I think it's going to go out of bounds.
Went all the way to the end zone.
That's going to go all the way to the end zone. He couldn't have played that one any better. It was just a nice little bump and run, if you will. Hangs it low and just keeps it just in bounds. So Blacksburg gets it at the 20 instead of the 40.
Another update out of Parisburg. Christiansburg's now up 35-0 over Giles.
So the score, or the clock, is only changed by 9 seconds, but the score has changed to 28-17 as Blacksburg comes back out for the second time this half. This time they'll go in the shotgun, 4 wide receivers. Genda Smith beside Terrence Travis. Takes the snap, looks to throw, now rolls over to the left side. And he throws, it's going to be pass interference on that one. He was looking for Jordan Porter, and he is hit a little early there by Cody Utong.
Yeah, Utong came all the way over his back there, flags flying in from all different directions. So.
Yeah, pass interference on Liberty, so that'll give Blacksburg the first down and move the chains.
You notice Terrence's passes, most of them it looks like the ball, it's a tight spiral, but it looks like the nose is down when it's going through the air. It's kind of a unique throwing style that he has, but when he throws the football, it looks like the nose is going through the air down.
So with the 15-yard penalty, it's 1st and 10 now at the 35. Better than fumbling and giving up a touchdown.
Absolutely. Yep.
So keep it in the shotgun now. 3 wide receivers to the far side. Travis takes the snap, drops back, looking to throw. Steps up in the pocket, finds Jordan Porter, caught at the 46, breaks one tackle out past the 40 of Liberty. Now he's dragged down inside the 35, tackled at the 32. And that's exactly the type of stuff that I was saying our listeners should look out for or listen out for. Is Jordan Porter, get him the ball quickly, get him in open space. He breaks one tackle, and just like that, 1st and 10 at the Liberty 33.
That time Jordan Porter made Anthony Reynolds, the star player of Liberty, look kind of rough in the open field trying to make the tackle. And this is the medicine that you order, you know, if you're Coach Chris, to stop the bleeding from the start of the second half.
So Travis, once again, shotgun, takes a snap, looking to pass, rolls over to the right, gets some pressure now over to the left. And he evades the sacker. He's got to be careful, though, otherwise he's going to be brought down. Breaks another tackle. Still rolling around. Now he's just going to throw it out of bounds wisely. He makes a smart decision after a couple, not bad decisions, but he was really dancing around back there. He evaded Thomas Schachter, the defensive end, 3 or 4 times back there.
The Liberty defensive front's kind of just all walking back to the huddle going, my goodness, what do we got to do to tackle him? And Terrence running all over the place and just getting himself out in the open field, sitting there waiting on somebody else to show up. Nobody open downfield, and you know, he kept the football for about 10 or 12 seconds right there, and finally just threw it away.
Yeah, he evaded Schachter and then kept rolling to the left, but then he stopped. And I wasn't sure if he was going to throw it, and it looked like he was going to get laid out, but he evaded him one more time. Now he rolls over to the left. He is brought down. Nope, he breaks Schachter's tackle. Now he goes forward. He's going to be tackled. Big loss here on the play. It was a design. It looked like that was an option, so he's going to lose about 7 yards, goes back all the way to the 39-yard line.
That play, it looked like somebody went the wrong direction, either the tailback or fullback. That play just didn't look right off the get-go. Terrence turned to put the ball in the belly of the fullback, who was headed to the right, and the tailback was headed to the left, and there was just nothing there. It's kind of odd-looking play.
And Schachter was in the backfield as soon as the ball was, too. I mean, Travis turns around, and hello, Schachter. He broke the tackle once. And then gets brought down. So loss of 6, 3rd and 16 now at the 39. Blitz. Travis rolls out to the right. Somehow stays up, but he's going to be brought down from behind. Sacked by Breon Brawley. So now it's going to be 4th and tomorrow. Think about 4th and 20. Blacksburg's going to have to punt, but at least they flip the field position. So they get the pass interference, the big pass play to Jordan Porter, and then they lose 20 or 10 yards.
Well, Liberty had their ears pinned back that time. The snaps to Travis have been low. And by the time he caught the ball down there around the shoe tops and looked up, there were white jerseys all over him. They just came right up the middle and just blew everybody up.
So Austin back to punt. Reynolds standing at his own 15. Now it goes over to the left side. Good punt. Reynolds hasn't picked it up yet. And it's going to be down by Blacksburg at about the 14-yard line. So good punt there for Brandon Austin, not allowing Anthony Reynolds to even put a hand on it.
Yeah, punt it away from him. Don't give him another opportunity to return one. He ran over there. He wanted to try and pick it up, but good job by the coverage on the punt team getting down the field. And now it's up to your defense. Got to come up with a big stop here while you got them pinned in the shadow of their own end zone.
And William Byrd has shut out Hidden Valley 25-0.
Hidden Valley, I guess they're playing without their starting quarterback. Tore an ACL in his knee. He's out for the season.
Yep. So 1st and 10 at the 14. They'll hand it to no, it's Utong one more time over to the left side. Same play, and it looks like he's got the first down, gain of about 11, and gets it out to the 26-yard line.
Yeah, Coach Sheeler down there got his headset off. He's preaching to the choir out there. Hey guys, we have nobody outside. He's going to keep doing that. we got to get our responsibility and make sure that we got the quarterback.
So 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line. Keep it in the eye. Now Utong hands it, or he keeps it over the right side. He's tackled for a loss on the play. Looks like that's Duran Phillips in on the tackle. Or did he hand it off to Reynolds?
He actually handed it off to 7. Brawley actually had the football, and Big Duran, and everything was stacked up. The Bruins had about 4 defensive linemen right there in on the play, and you couldn't tell who it was, but Brawley actually came out of the pile with the football somehow.
Now Northside is up 21-0 on Pulaski. They had a big comeback last week against Radford, but not quite enough as they lost by 3. See if they can come back this week. So 2nd and 10, and Blacksburg jumps off sides. Yep, so 5-yard penalty on the Bruins. It'll be 2nd and 5 now. Moving it up to the 30. That's the 2nd penalty on the Bruins tonight, both of the 5-yard variety. So I'll just go regular I formation this time as Brawley motions out to the left side. Pitch it over to Reynolds to the left side. Gets a couple blocks. He's got the 1st down. Tackled at about the 39-yard line. They'll say down at the 40. So gain of 10 there by Anthony Reynolds.
Yeah, it's getting it's early or midway, in the midway point of the 3rd quarter right here, but this is a huge possession for Blacksburg's defense, because one thing that you can't do is let Liberty drive the football down the field right here and go up 18 points on you after the rough start to the 2nd half. You got to come up with a big stop here if you're the defense.
And they had flipped the field position. They downed it at the 14, but now Liberty already has it out to their 40, so that isn't even there anymore. Utong hands it up to Anthony Reynolds, gets out past the 50-yard line, has the 1st down, tackled inside Blacksburg territory at the 46. Gain of 14 on the play.
Liberty's doing a really good job up front right now. They're really starting to open up some holes, and you know, when you take try to take away the tailback, the quarterback keeps it around the end. Then when you adjust and take away the quarterback, then he gives it to the halfback, and they pick up 10 yards. So
Chase Key comes out, and Breon Brawley comes back in. And it looks like the umpires trying to reset the clock here. So there's 6:19 left to go here in the in the 3rd quarter, excuse me. Back to the overset I. Utong hands it to Reynolds over the right side. He's got nothing doing. Maybe gets a yard, if anything, on that play.
Good job by the front getting in there again. And the thing that I said, I said it in the first half, the thing that causes this offense the most problems is penetration. And if the defensive front can keep getting penetration and slow that option down a little bit, then, Blacksburg's defense could be in good shape. But again, 5:45 to go in the 3rd here. It's a big stop. The defense has really got to get possession back for the offense.
Yeah, we're now under halfway, or have less than half the quarter remaining. This time they'll pitch it to Brawley over to the right side. Gets a couple blocks. Out past the 40, down at about the 35-yard line, right around the 1st down marker.
Liberty doing a really good job mixing up their plays, running tall sweep, running inside belly, and the quarterback keeping the football around the outside. Kind of got Blacksburg's defense back on its heels a little bit.
So he's tackled at the 38. It's going to be 3rd and 2 now for Liberty. Blacksburg, someone for the Bruins has to step up and make a play here and end this drive, because it's just taken a lot more time off the clock. They'll hand it off up the middle. Looks like that's to Clark, or do they hand it off to Brawley over on the right side?
It's Clark, the fullback.
That was Clark.
Yep. Just a hard run.
And a big 1st down run there for the Minutemen. Move the chains, keep the clock moving.
Down to the 27-yard line.
Tackled at the 27, so that's a gain of 11. Quintel Starks now in the backfield. Looks like they handed off. Was that to Clark again? No, this time it's Derek Anderson with the ball. He gets tackled, gain of about 2 on the play.
Derek Anderson, the ball carrier.
Just another one of the many backs and many options Liberty's got. They got a bunch of athletes on this football team that they can plug into the football game that can run the ball hard.
Yeah, speaking with head coach Chris Watts before the game, he gave me a list of 6 or 7 guys to just kind of keep an eye out for that he said would constantly be rotating in and out. This time they'll hand it off to Reynolds over to the right side. A little bit of a hesitation move on it. He's got out past the first down marker inside the 15, tackled at the 13. Another big gain there for Anthony Reynolds. And another first down. Looks like we've got an injured Bruin. That's Luke Grant, the safety. Slow to get up as he's jogging off. Looks like Marson Forbes going to replace him. It's great, get some attention from the trainer.
The Liberty's offense is really doing a good job taking it to the Blacksburg defense right here. This drive started down on the 14-yard line and have kept the ball most of the quarter right here on this drive, and so far the Bruins haven't been able to answer to the many different options that the stack eye creates as far as Liberty's offense goes.
It looks like Luke Grant just cramping up, so hopefully nothing too serious as he's just getting stretched out, getting some fluid. Marson Forbes steps on the field, replaces him at safety. 1st and 10, Liberty at the Blacksburg 13. We've got a penalty before the play. False start on Liberty, back them up 5 yards. And that's what Blacksburg needed. Just something positive here. Make it, instead of 1st and 10, 1st and 15. Hopefully they can get a stop because they can't afford to give up any more points now with only 15 and a half minutes left in this game.
Yeah, Liberty's already scored 14 in this quarter after being up 17-14. At halftime, the Bruins give up 2 really quick touchdowns, one on a turnover and a long kickoff return, putting Liberty in good field position, and 2 plays later they were in the end zone. So big stop, crucial drive here for the Bruins defense.
1st and 15. Utong keeps it over to the left side. He is met at about the line of scrimmage. Looks like that was Griffin Height and Joel Hunter on the tackle. He actually gets 3 yards on the play.
Yeah, we talked about in the pregame how they've moved Joel Hunter from defensive end to inside linebacker. We saw that last week against Giles late in the game. They moved him from defensive end to inside linebacker, and we were talking about how he was scraping off tackle and filling the run lanes well, and Coach Sheeler saw it too, and now he's got him starting there at inside linebacker. So we'll see, we'll see how that changes help.
Yeah, and talking to the coaches, I think that's just they had him at outside linebacker just for the Giles game. I think they just, with the way Giles runs their offense, they just like putting him there because, yeah, he made a few good plays in the 4th quarter filling in for Griffin Height. So actually it's a gain of 4, 2nd and 11. Rolling over to the right, Utong throws. It is caught in the backfield by Brawley. He gets back to the line of scrimmage, gains about 1, so it'll be 3rd and 10 now. And that was the 11th play of this drive, which has spanned 6 minutes and counting.
Who was that? Was that Porter that made the open field tackle? What a great open field tackle that was. That's a tough play when you're talking about a back and you're on an island by yourself out there. If he gets by you, he scores a touchdown. And Jordan Porter, just a great open field tackle for a short gain for the Bruins defense.
And he had a really good defensive game for the Bruins last week against that Giles defense. Doing a really good job of containing. Had 2 or 3 tackles for loss. Good job open field tackling for Jordan Porter on that play. Now it looks like we're going to get a timeout called by Liberty. So 3rd and 10. This is a big play here for Chris Watts and his Minutemen. If they can get the first down, keep the drive moving. If they can score a touchdown here, the game's not out of reach completely, but Blacksburg's going to have to completely change offensive game planning. But if they can stop them here, force them to kick a field goal, it's a 2-touchdown game. And there's still an entire quarter left. So this is a huge play here for both teams.
Sure, and you want to get the stop here. Reynolds, we've been watching him kick the extra points and so forth that he's been doing. He kicks the ball kind of low. He's a left-footed kicker. And, anytime you kick the ball low, you stand a chance of maybe getting a hand on it. Porter's been coming around the end and has just been missing it. So,
times.
You want to at least, if nothing else, hold them to a field goal right here, maybe get a chance at blocking one, scooping it, take it down the other way, and changing the complexion of this football game.
Already seen one of those.
Absolutely.
So they're going to keep it now in that offset eye. I just noticed the Maryland eye. What's the other terminology?
It's stack eye.
The stack eye.
Yeah.
They'll pitch it over to Reynolds on the left side. Blacksburg has contained, but he gets past it. He's pushed out of bounds. That is Jordan Porter on the tackle, but it looks like he's got the first down. Yeah, it's got to be frustrating for the Bruins. It looks like they had him right around the line of scrimmage, and his speed, he just got around the line.
Yeah, but again, Kevin Wilson came up from outside linebacker and done what he was supposed to. He made him cut back inside, but there was no inside pursuit coming to help him out, and Reynolds just turned on the juice and got down to, what is it, about the 1 yard line?
Yeah, it looks like it's right at the 1 yard line. So first and goal. Blacksburg's going to have a huge goal line stand here. Now that we're under 2 minutes left to go here in the third. Clock is stopped because he went out of bounds. They'll pitch it now, Reynolds right side, and that's the same way he scored earlier, and he scores one more time. 1 yard touchdown run, Anthony Reynolds. That's his third touchdown tonight.
Yep. He's their showcase back. That's who you give the football to put it in the end zone. And this has been a tough quarter for the Bruins.
So right now it's 34-17 as Reynolds stands to kick the extra point. Snap's good, and this, almost blocked. Did he miss that?
It hit the upright, didn't it?
Yep, he
bounced
hits
out.
wide left, so he misses the extra point, so it's a 17-point game. That's a big miss.
Yeah, it is.
There for the Bruins.
Blacksburg 17.
But yeah, a 86-yard drive on 12 plays, capped by the Reynolds 1 yard touchdown run. Took about 6.5 minutes off the clock.
Well, you just go back to what got you to 17 points in the first half, and you stick with it, and now you got to ask your quarterback to do a lot of things that you don't see out of most high school quarterbacks, but he's got that kind of ability, so you hope that maybe he can get this thing turned around and get things going.
But for the defense, you pin them down to the 14, hoping, all right, let's just get a quick stop, get it back to the offense with some good field position, and instead they go on a drive that takes up half the quarter and ends up with a touchdown.
And give Liberty credit. I mean, that's, they mixed it up. Coach Watts had good play calling on that drive right there. They were going inside, outside, bouncing around, threw mixed a pass in on certain situations. That whole drive just kept Blacksburg's defense off balance and really caused them a lot of problems.
Anthony Reynolds scored touchdowns 6 different ways last season. And we've seen, how that's possible tonight. He picks up a fumble and just scoots it in about 26 yards for a touchdown. Low squib kick. This one rolls out of bounds, so that's going to give Blacksburg really, really good field position as it goes out of bounds. They should have it at the 40-yard line. Tried to do the same thing last time, did Jerry Thompson, but this time it doesn't work. Blacksburg's going to have it at the 40.
That would be a good trivia question. We need to get us a T-shirt or something and have our listeners call in and say, how name 6 different ways you can score a touchdown, or Anthony Reynolds scored a touchdown last year in football.
I was trying to think of it myself because it said scored, so I'm assuming that doesn't mean threw for because he didn't score it. So, catch, run, fumble, interception,
punt,
kickoff,
return.
punt.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think that's pretty impressive. So it'll be first and 10 at the 35. Take it out of the shotgun, hand it up again to Smith up the middle, and there is absolutely nowhere to go on the play.
No gain on the play.
Just got an update from Pulaski County. Northside's up 27-0 now at the end of the third quarter.
Second down and 10 at the 35 for the Bruins.
So it may take a little bit of time for the Pulaski kids to get used to a spread offense.
Yeah, they were a Timesland top 10 preseason team, and they could start off the season 0-2. So keep it in the shotgun, second and 10 at the 35. 4 wide receivers, 2 to each side. Travis takes the snap, drops back, looking to throw. They bring a late blitz. He gets hit as he throws, and good job there defensively for Miles Hiders. That ball was floating around, Doug Schaefer thought he had an interception, but Miles Hyder knocked it down as Travis got hit from behind. Looks like it was Quintel Starks on just a delayed blitz, hit Travis from behind. He came through completely unblocked.
Yeah, one thing that I've seen in this half so far is adjustments by Liberty. Their offensive line's doing a really good job, and now they're really getting a lot of penetration on Blacksburg's offensive line here with their defensive line. So, you know, of course, when you're up by 17, you can pin your ears back and just cut it loose too, and really makes things tough on you.
Keep it in the shotgun, 3 wide receivers to the far side, Jordan Porter to the near side. It looks like we're going to get probably a false start in Jordan Porter. I think he hitched a little bit.
I believe the defense jumped on that long count.
The defense jumped on the count. Let's see what the call is.
It is encroachment.
It's encroachment on the defense. They look like about 3 different guys fell for the snap count. So that'll, instead of a 3rd and 10, 3rd and 5, that's much more manageable because they can't afford to turn the ball over. They can't afford to punt the ball here,
right,
especially with Liberty taking up 6.5 minutes on that last drive. So 3rd and 5 now at the 40. Same formation. Travis takes the snap. They bring the heat, and he gets wrapped up in the backfield. He's going to get sacked. That's going to be a loss of about 7. That's Derek Anderson on the sack. Just comes out unblocked from his linebacker position. And I think Blacksburg's going to have to punt. You've got it at your own 30. You're going to need 13 yards.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. No chance to even get the playoff right there for Blacksburg. Just way too many people, not enough people to block. When you're running out of the spread, sometimes you can overload one side and get the pressure on Terrence, and he just had no time to do anything.
Under 30 seconds left to go here in the 3rd. Brandon Austin back to punt, takes his snap, kicks up very high punt, but pretty short. And this is going to take a Blacksburg bounce. They're going to down it right at the Liberty 49. So just not a good turn of events there for the Bruins with a short punt. It's an 11-yard punt.
And it brings you
no, that can't be right. He kicked that from, what, the 34?
Yeah.
So that's a 16-yard punt.
Yeah. Yep, things just not going well here in the 3rd quarter for the Bruins.
So 15 seconds left to go here in the 3rd. It's a Liberty ball at, they're just going to mark it right at the 50. Blacksburg has to get a stop here. There's just not enough time to let them move and not get any points. We've got a flag before the play. Was that a illegal motion there on? It's a penalty on Liberty, so march it back 5 yards.
Improper equipment.
Okay, there's an equipment violation there for Liberty. That's a call we don't see too often.
Somebody didn't have their mouthpiece in.
So it's 1st and 15 now, marks it back to the Liberty 45. Looks like they'll hand it off up the middle. No, that's over to the right side.
That's Uton again, keeping it.
Uton keeps it over to the right side, gets past the original line of scrimmage and then a little bit more. Actually, no, he get about 10 yards on that play. That's 2nd and 5.
Absolutely. Same thing that they hurt us with, when they had the, I guess the big kickoff return. They ran the same play twice in a row and scored a touchdown. It's the exact same thing. Uton just calling his own number, keeping it around the end right there. And that's going to end the quarter, so hopefully Blacksburg's defense can make some adjustments.
So, yeah, that's how we will head to the 4th quarter. Blacksburg trails 34-17. Just going to take a quick 30-second break before we head to the 4th. You're listening to ESPN Blacksburg's coverage of Blacksburg High School football.
Help keep our streets safe. Yield to pedestrians who step into a crosswalk. Every time, everywhere. A wave is a great way to communicate for both drivers and pedestrians. Safety is in everyone's best interest, but if you need more incentive,
don't jaywalk. Don't speed. It's dangerous. It's against the law.
Stay alert. Stay safe. And remember to yield. It's worth the wait. A message from the Virginia Department of Rail and Public Transportation.
Welcome back to Bill Brown Stadium at David Chris Field. Not a long walk for the guys as they're at the 45-yard line as they swap sides, though, now. Liberty 2nd and 5 at the 45, heading from left to right on your radio dial. They'll hand it off to Brawley, who breaks a couple tackles. He's still alive. Now he's taken over to the left side. If he gets past Jordan Porter, he's got some room, but no, still dancing. And he's finally tackled at the 47-yard line. A lot of dancing there for Brawley. Broke about 5 tackles, but ends up losing 2 yards.
Well, he ran into a rugby scrum over here on our side of the field and somehow came out of it and ran all the way to the Liberty sideline before he got corralled, and he still didn't want to go down. So he actually ran about 46 yards to, what, lose 2?
Oh, look, they're going to say he lost 1. So, yeah, it's 3rd and 6 at the 46. Huge play here for the Blacksburg defense, though. They need to get a stop here. Down by 17 with 11 minutes to go in the game. They cannot give up a first down here. They'll pitch it right side to Reynolds. Gets wrapped up in the backfield. That's Griffin Height. Very good job there from the inside linebacker. We saw him do it last week against Giles. It's another thing to do it against Anthony Reynolds as he catches him in the backfield, and they're going to have to punt.
Big stop for the Bruins defense right there. Now you got to make something happen quick with the offense. But Griffin Height coming and scraping off inside from the Mike linebacker position. Scraped off tackle, made a great play on Reynolds.
That's the type of play you need from a senior to step up, force this punt, and now hope they can get a big play on the return from either Terrence Travis or Jordan Porter. Slow kick finally goes off. Porter catches it in the air, fakes like he's going to pitch it to Travis. Now he breaks a couple tackles. We've got a flag, though. I would imagine this is going to come back. Jordan Porter out past the 30, gets a block to the 35, tackle pushed out of bounds at the 37, and another flag.
I think it's going to be 2 blocks in the back.
That would be my guess. Especially, when you change direction like that, it's so difficult for the blockers to not hit someone in the back.
Right. And one thing that Jordan, he's just going to have to understand is against these quicker, more athletic football teams, he's got to get north and south right now and help his blockers. Best way to defeat that speed is to run right at it.
So, yeah, the 2 blocks in the back. So the good field position is negated.
Yeah.
The first flag is at the 18.
Yeah, and that's the one Coach Watts will take, I'm sure, because it's from the spot of the foul.
Yeah, they'll decline the second one, except the first, so Blacksburg's going to have pretty bad field position. And it looked like on that play, it looked like he was trying to do a reverse pitch to Travis.
Yeah.
But I think Terrence, looking at it,
went the same way. It looked like he was going to block for him, and yeah, something was up with that punt return, but somebody went the wrong way.
So Blacksburg now takes over at their own 9 instead of the 37. 10:15 left to go here in the game. Blacksburg trails by 17 after the missed PAT by Anthony Reynolds. We'll see if that ever comes back to haunt Liberty. But right now it's a 17-point game to 2 touchdowns and a field goal. Inside shotgun, 2 wide receivers. Travis, quarterback draw, runs over to the right side, breaks a couple tackles, and now he's going to be brought down after a gain of about 3.
He still ain't down. He's plumb out here at the 30-yard line. They never got him down, but the whistle had blown.
So, yeah, gain of 3, so it should be about 2nd and 7.
Pulaski County has gotten on the board now against Northside. It's now 27-7 with 7:33 left to go in the game up in the Cougars' den tonight.
I wonder if that was by a fumble return for a touchdown, as they had 2 of those when they made that
against Radford.
Against Radford. So gain of 4, 2nd and 6 at the 13. Keep it in the shotgun, 2 running backs. Low snap, Travis takes it, drops back, looking to throw, gets some pressure, rolls over to his left. Now rifles one over to 2. It looks like that was to Miles Hyder, but that one's short, incomplete, 3rd and 6.
A lot of pressure being brought by Liberty now, stunting either an inside or outside linebacker just about every play to try and keep pressure on Travis.
And that's a tough throw rolling to his left, throwing across his body. As Hyder came back to him, he's about 20 yards, 30 yards downfield, came back, but just couldn't quite connect. He was open. 9:20 left to go here in the 4th. Blacksburg trails by 17, 3rd and 6. They're going to keep it in that same formation. Shotgun, 2 wide receivers and 2 running backs. Kevin Wilson and Ginda Smith beside him. Fumbles the snap, picks it up, and he is going to be brought down in the end zone, but they're going to say his forward progress, he was down at the 2. Blacksburg's going to have to punt again.
You know, I said it a little while ago, the shotgun snaps have just been low all night long, and now they're almost bouncing to him. And you know, got to get that fixed. Got to get the center and the quarterback, you know, together and get that snap working, because he doesn't have time to run the play or get any reads whatsoever when he's down there trying to catch the football.
And now Christiansburg officially wins 35-0 over Giles. Giles now 0-2 after they lost last week to Blacksburg. Low punt rolls, bounces, and goes out of bounds at the 45-yard line there. The 45-yard line of Blacksburg. So really, really good field position for Liberty. You know, when you're punting out of your own 2, that's about the best they could have hoped for.
Yeah, absolutely. Kept it away from Reynolds. They got a good bounce on it and rolled it out to the 45. Excellent field position now for Liberty, and down by 17. Something big's got to happen now for the Bruins defense.
With 8.5 minutes left, and they need 3 scores. They're going to need a huge play, and I would imagine that Liberty will just continue to pound the ball.
That's what they've been doing pretty successfully the second half.
Utong drops back to throw, throws deep. He's got a man open, but he overthrows him. Looks like we've got a penalty, though. Might be roughing the passer.
Utong's pass is in.
Now that's interesting. Yep, it is roughing the passer. So instead of an incomplete pass, it's going to be a 15-yard penalty, and that'll put it at the Blacksburg 30-yard line. Yeah, up by 17 with 8.5 minutes left to go. Throwing it deep.
Drops back to throw it. You know, trying to catch Blacksburg off guard and put the nail in the coffin. But, you know, roughing the passer, blow to the head, I think is what the referee was signaling. So.
Yes. Yeah, he was 2 steps behind the last defender. It was there, but the throw, it just had a little bit too much muscle on it.
So much for powering it up.
Is it? No, it's the second time they've thrown it, I think, so far this half. This time now they'll hand it off to Reynolds over the left side. Breaks 1 tackle, now runs backwards over the left side, and he's going to lose about a yard or 2 on the play. But most importantly for Liberty, the clock keeps moving, as the next snap will be taken with less than 8 minutes left to go.
And Reynolds that time spun, did a complete 360 to try to get out of trouble with the defenders chasing him, and eventually just ran out of real estate when Blacksburg corralled him over there and brought him down.
Loss of 2, 2nd and 12 now here for the Minutemen. Looks like we've got a official's timeout. Looks like Kevin Wilson's having some trouble with his shoe.
I'm talking to Coach Sheeler. He was telling me before the game that this Liberty team had a whole bunch of athletes, and we've seen 4 or 5 different kids, you know, in the backfield running the football for them. Like you said, Coach Watts said to keep your eye on 5 or 6 different players, and so far that they've held true to form. A lot of people think that this is the year for Liberty, and of course, you know, they're picked 2nd in the Seminole District down there behind powerhouse Amherst County. So
made it to the regional final last year, lost 26-14 to Northside, who went on to win the state championship.
And Liberty also is Division III, so you know Amherst still play them in the district, but Amherst being a Division IV powerhouse program, you know, in Division III, they're going to be pretty good.
So, yep, 2nd and 12 now. Looks like they'll get it to Carter upside. He breaks past the line of scrimmage, breaks 1 tackle, and he goes into the end zone. 32 yards there for Thomas Clark.
32 yards.
It's the first time that actually handed it off to the fullback in a while, and I don't think Blacksburg was prepared for it.
No, and you can just tell there's a little extra bounce in the Liberty step, too. Blacksburg's defense on the field a whole lot there in the 3rd quarter. You know, they're pretty tired. 6 two-way players out there on the field, and, you know, it's starting to show.
Anthony Reynolds to attempt the point after.
That's Clark's 2nd touchdown tonight as he recovered the fumble earlier tonight. Scores now 40-17. Extra point is up and good. 41-17.
7:36 left in the 4th quarter. The score, Liberty 41, Blacksburg 17.
And the 3rd quarter killer.
Blacksburg led 17-14 at half. And 64 seconds into the second half, they found themselves down 28-17.
27 unanswered points in this half?
Yes. And Blacksburg's had the ball 4 times, and first play, fumble return, touchdown. Then a first down and a punt, 3 and out, 3 and out. If you're Blacksburg, not much has gone your way here in this half.
And you know, I was telling you in the pregame, you know, this was Liberty's year, and they're going to go a long ways again this football season. They have a very good football team. They have size and they have speed, and that combination's good in high school football.
Brandon Austin's done a good job of directional kicking away from Anthony Reynolds.
Absolutely.
So there's some positive.
Well, you know, still a young football team. You've got a couple of good athletes that are going to make plays for you, and you got to keep your head up and just keep working hard and keep working on the schedule.
Kick goes to Jordan Porter, picked up at the 10. He's wrapped up at about the 17-yard line.
Jordan Porter on the return.
But in talking to Coach Chris before the season started, I thought that maybe this really early bye week was at a bad time. With the way things are going right now, it really couldn't come at a better time because you had the big win against Giles, but then you really are getting humbled right now by Liberty, so you've got 2 weeks to kind of go back, look and see what happens, because they were winning this game at halftime and are now down 41-17.
Sure, and then when you come off your off week, you only get the Division III state champions coming to town. So, you know, you go back and work on basic fundamentals next week, you know, in your off week. Give your players a couple of days off, give them a chance to get their legs back under them and so forth, and get ready for the stretch run.
And it looks like we have Steven Wilburn is taking over at quarterback now for Travis. Hands it off over to the right side. That is that
Overcash.
That's 9. Yeah, I couldn't tell if that was 8 or 9. Jacob Overcash on the carry. Loses about 3 yards, so they're trying to get some younger guys, some more inexperienced guys, some action here. Marshawn Forbes also on the field, as is Sam Robinson.
Got a whole new offensive line in there in front of the running backs too with the quarterback, so giving a lot of guys a chance to play here. David Relaford's in there at tackle, and who's that? 54, C.J. Link is playing guard.
So go to the I formation now. Looks like we've got a penalty before the play. Did the play clock expire or what?
No, the umpire threw the flag, so it's probably improper equipment.
Yeah, it's the second improper equipment penalty we've seen. We didn't see any of those last season. Now we've seen 2 here in like the last 5 minutes.
Somebody doesn't have their mouthpiece in. A bunch of new players in the game, so.
That's usually pretty easy to identify when you've got a team color, you know, gold mouthpiece when it's hanging right on your blue helmet. You know, it's a good rule because it's an important.
It's a safety issue.
Yeah, it's a safety issue, and so you can't be too upset for the penalty when in the end you lose 5 yards. But it's much more important to make sure you guys have their mouthpieces in because they are so important to the player safety. Now they'll take the snap, hand it off up the middle.
No place to go.
No gain on the play.
Now Liberty's bringing in a bunch of their second teamers and getting their first team guys off the field.
I'm just having trouble trying to identify everybody who's out there.
Yeah, you got Kyle Birch coming in at wide receiver. Number 80, J.B. Wilson's coming in at wide receiver. For Blacksburg, number 11, Kyle Birch is getting a chance to play some too. 69 Owen Ball is now in at center for the Bruins. 73 Ben Rudds at guard.
So it is 3rd and 18 at the 9. Welburn drops back to pass, throws deep, and this is going to be dropped by Montana Willis of Liberty. He was looking for
Wilburn's pass intended for J.B. Wilson.
The number of J.B. Wilson, the intended receiver, so it's going to be 4th and 18. Blacksburg's going to have to punt again, and that will be 3 straight 3-and-outs for the Bruins.
For the Bruins. Anthony Reynolds keeps the receive for Liberty.
And so the thing that's got to be frustrating, they lose last year by 3. They give up an interception return for a touchdown. So they've got to feel like they could win the game. Good punt there. Anthony Reynolds takes it at the 50. Now out past the 30, and he's just going to run out of... No, he's not going to run out of bounds. So now he eventually gets brought down at about the 30-yard line. Last year you lose by 3, game that you've got to feel you could win. This year you're up by 3 at halftime. You've got to feel pretty good that you could go on and win. And then just to have this collapse there in the third quarter, got to be frustrating. You know, it's just one game, but it's early in the season. Coach Chris is going to have to do a good job of hounding his guys to make sure that this doesn't snowball into anything.
And he will. And he's dealing with, like I said, some young players on both sides of the line of scrimmage. But you've got a good group of seniors in there, too, that will keep things together. And you know, a week off to go back and work on the basic fundamentals, and again get a little rest, get some bumps and bruises healed up, and get ready for the defending state champs to come in here.
So with 5:23, Liberty will take over at the Blacksburg 32-yard line.
It's amazing how quick the momentum changed in the third quarter the way it did. Up by 3 at halftime, and then they run off 27 unanswered here in the second half.
And that's what we saw there in the first half, too. They got the block punt, touchdown, and then they got another quick touchdown. But then Blacksburg was able, they got the turnover, then they were able to get those 10 points to close out the half. So we saw a couple momentum swings there in the first half, and not surprising, an early momentum swing. Blacksburg just wasn't able to turn it around. New quarterback back there is Josh Martin. He hands it off up the middle.
Chase Key
gets about...
brings the ball down to about the 27-yard line.
Tackled by number 23 at Blacksburg, who's not on our roster. So a lot of new players in the game right now getting some playing time for the Bruins and for Liberty.
Gain of 2 on the play.
Off the 28-yard line, gain of 2, second down and 8.
I don't think we've mentioned they're called the Minutemen, aren't they?
Yes.
Still running the stack eye.
Handoff. No, he keeps it. Does Martin, and he's wrapped up in the backfield. Looks like that is Sam Robinson on the tackle. So loss of about 2, so brings back the original line of scrimmage. 3rd and 10 now.
Final score in Pulaski, Northside 27, Pulaski 7. So the Cougars go to 0-2 in Coach Jones's debut. Northside will be undefeated coming into, well, not necessarily. They probably play next week. So but chances are they're a pretty good football team again this year. They'll probably be undefeated coming in here.
Now under 4 minutes left to go here in the game. Liberty leads at 41-17. Martin takes the snap. Now eventually hands it off. And inside the 20 down, tackled at about the 12 is Quintel Starks. Or no, excuse me, is that Montana Willis, number 12. Or was that? No, that was 30. Excuse me, Trevon Lightfoot.
It's hard to tell who's got the football.
So first down, first goal now for Liberty at the 8-yard line. Just about 3.5 minutes left to go.
It's a pride thing now. If you're Blacksburg's defense, you really want to try to keep them out of the end zone.
And I'm watching Cameron Hamden. He is heading into the field house with a couple of the trainers. He's walking on his own power, but he's heading in.
Timeout called by Liberty. That is their final timeout of the half.
Liberty just takes a timeout now with 3:15 left to go. That's their final timeout of the game. I hope everything's all right with Cameron back there. We'll try and get some information for you at the end of the game. It looks like Blacksburg is going to fall in this one. They've got the off week and then at home against Northside in 2 weeks. And that's the end. That'll be the last game of a 3-game homestand.
And then what do we do? Go to Patrick Henry or Lord Botetourt?
That'll be at Lord Botetourt on the 1st, and then, or excuse me, no, at Patrick Henry, and then at Lord Botetourt on the 4th, at Patrick Henry on September 24th. Patrick Henry had a big win last week.
Brad Bradley down there's got that program turned around, which you knew he would. He was successful down at William Campbell, where he come from, won a couple of state championships down there, and decided to take the PH job to come back home closer to Salem. His dad's been a coach in the Salem football program for many years down there, and doing a really good job at Patrick Henry.
So now, first and goal at the 8 for the Minutemen. Hand it off up the middle, pushing the pile inside the 5, down at about the 2.
Chase Key, the ball carrier.
Chase Key.
He actually, the fullback got tackled up here about the 7.
Oh, yeah, the pile was down inside the 5, but the ball was marked at the 6, so gain of 2.
So north side, Patrick Henry, Lord Botetourt, then start River Ridge play.
Yep, Hidden Valley's the home opener in River Ridge play. Hidden Valley's now 0-2, and those teams are picked to finish 5th and 6th. Quarterback takes it up the middle, keeps it himself, and he's going to head it to the end zone. Josh Martin on the touchdown run. You could fit a tractor trailer through that hole.
Yeah, a lot of players getting some playing time out there right now. Guys who work hard on scout teams and so forth throughout the week and getting their chance to play. Yeah, I think the River Ridge is going to be interesting. I always say the River Ridge still runs through Salem, but I think Christiansburg's going to be hard to handle this year, and Cave Springs playing lights out football right now. All that should be interesting.
Cave Springs beat Salem, or Christiansburg beat Salem in the playoffs last year. The PAT is up and it is wide left. I believe that was Josh Martin who attempted it. So it's 47-17 still. But if you're Coach Chris, kind of just what are you telling these guys, not necessarily tonight, but just in the next 2 weeks of practice, when it was a 3-point lead at halftime and now you're down by 30?
You take the film and you just lock it up in the office for next year. You don't even show it. You come back out on Tuesday, since you got an off week, and you start working on basic fundamentals again, and you start preparing for Northside.
I said at halftime that it was a close game, but it still seemed like any team, Blacksburg as well, could really open it up. But it has been absolutely owned by Liberty here in the second half, and it was. They got those 2 touchdowns early in the third quarter, and you didn't want to say it was over, but with just the way things happened, you could tell that's just really hard to come back from.
Yeah, it takes the wind out of yourselves, and especially like I said, when you've got young kids, they lose focus, and you're just like, oh my goodness, what has happened? And that's what happened.
It looks like Genda Smith is back deep to return. Taking over for Jordan Porter.
Genda Smith deep to the tee.
Kick is, that just goes right out of bounds. So that's the second time that'll happen. Blacksburg should take over at the 35 with 2:27 left to go here in the game.
I don't think that ball even made the 35, did it?
Not quite. It went right around the 35.
See Terrence Travis sitting down here on the Blacksburg bench with his shoe off. I hope that's not anything too awful bad. I'll be anxious to see Terrence play at PH. If he's that fast on grass, what's he going to be like on turf? Of course, PH will be able to match speed, too. They'll have a lot of good athletes on that football team as well.
Yeah, Blacksburg definitely challenging themselves with their non-River Ridge schedule with Liberty, Northside, Patrick Henry.
Well, and that's the way Coach has always been. He's been that way ever since he's been here at Blacksburg. Schedules the toughest opponents because he says it makes you that much tougher for the playoffs.
So Wilburn in the shotgun now throws, hits his man. That's Corey King, the wide receiver, catching it. Gets out past the first down marker. Gets about 13 yards. Good pitch and catch there for the those two.
Ball spotted at the 47.
Another senior in there getting some playing time, making a nice catch and getting the ball up the field for a good game.
They'll keep it in the shotgun. 4 wide receivers for Wilburn, and he has got 1 running back next to him. Wilburn throws over to the right. That is through the hands of Kyle Birch.
Wilburn's pass intended for Kyle Birch is incomplete.
You know, one thing about playing the tough schedule like Coach does is even if you don't beat those teams, you still can garner a lot of points off of them, because when you play good teams, they're going to win a lot of football games. So when it comes to the playoff ratings, it gets you a lot of good points and gets you in a good shape for the playoffs, especially with the new playoff format that goes into effect this year.
And Joel Hunter is the running back beside Stephen Wilburn. In the shotgun, Wilburn takes it, hits Birch again, caught at about the 50, dives over across the 50-yard line inside Liberty territory. Gain of about 4 on the play. Brings up 3rd and 6 now. A minute 40 left to go here in the game.
3rd down, 6 yards to go.
You know, one of the reasons why Coach schedules those tough teams like with Patrick Henry and stuff like that is because, you know, even if you lose to Patrick Henry, you get so many points for playing them, and then you get a point or 2 for each one of their wins. So you almost get more points for that than you do for beating a Giles.
Wilburn takes the snap, drops back, and he is sacked. Loss of 8 on the play, so it's going to bring up loss of 7, 4th and 11. Looks like they're going to keep the offense out there, though.
Down to a minute here in the football game. Coach is just going to elect to run another play and keep the clock moving.
Fourth and 11, 50 seconds left. Wilburn takes the snap in the shotgun, looking to throw, throws deep, wobbly pass. That's pretty short. But it looks like that is Corey King goes up and between 2 defenders and brings down the catch right at the 25-yard line.
Yeah, good job going back to the football. The pass was pretty wobbly going down the field, but he goes back and catches the football at its highest point and makes a good catch, moves the chains, and keeps you in possession of the football.
You know, before the game kicked off, I was really excited to see these 2 teams face each other. When it was 17-14.5, that's right what I thought we were going to get. I didn't see the final score that we're going to end up with. Wilburn throws deep into the end zone. It looks like it is through the hands, not intercepted, but it's going to fall incomplete. Looking for King again. So it'll be 2nd and 10, but I didn't see 47-17.
No, and I you know, I saw all the predictions and everything, and we knew it was going to be tough because we knew Liberty was good, and you know, we talked about early how they feel like this is their year. They've been looking forward to this year right here for a couple of years and building into it, and certainly they've come out and swinging early in the season.
Wilburn takes a snap, still in the shotgun, 4 wide. Throws deep just over the head of J.B. Wilson.
Wilburn's pass intended for J.B. Wilson.
So 3rd and 10 now, 22 seconds left to go. Marson Forbes also out there at wide receiver.
Terrence is down here walking around. He's got his shoe off, but he seems like he's walking pretty good on his ankle.
Hopefully everything is all right with him. So 3rd and 10 now at the 25-yard line. Wilburn takes the snap, rolls over to his right, getting some pressure. He's just going to have to get rid of this one. And it looks like he's going to take a sack. He's going to lose 15 yards on that play. And I would imagine that's just going to be the end of the game. It's 5 seconds left. Yeah, Wilburn's walking off the field. So the final score here tonight, Liberty comes out with the win, 47-17. Blacksburg will be at home in 2 weeks against Northside. Another strong test in that one, the defending state champs. But they fall by 30 at home to the Minutemen.
Just full down at William Campbell, where he come from, won a couple of state championships down there, and decided to take the PH job to come back home closer to Salem. His dad's been a coach in the Salem football program for many years down there and doing a really good job at Patrick Henry.
So now, first and goal at the 8 for the Minutemen. Hand it off up the middle, pushing the pile inside the 5, down at about the 2.
Chase Key, the ball carrier.
Chase Key.
He actually, the fullback got tackled up here about the 7.
Oh, yeah, the pile was down inside the 5, but the ball was marked at the 6, so gain of 2.
So north side, Patrick Henry, Lord Botetourt, then start River Ridge play.
Yep, Hidden Valley's the home opener in River Ridge play. Hidden Valley's now 0-2, and those teams are picked to finish 5th and 6th. Quarterback takes it up the middle, keeps it himself, and he's going to head it to the end zone. Josh Martin on the touchdown run. You could fit a tractor trailer through that hole.
Yeah, a lot of players getting some playing time out there right now. Guys who work hard on scout teams and so forth throughout the week and getting their chance to play. Now, I think the River Ridge is going to be interesting. I always say the River Ridge still runs through Salem, but I think Christiansburg's going to be hard to handle this year, and Cave Springs playing lights out football right now. All that should be interesting.
And Cave Springs beat Christiansburg beat Salem in the playoffs last year. The PAT is up and it is wide left. I believe that was Josh Martin who attempted it. So it's 47-17 still. But if you're Coach Chris, kind of just what are you telling these guys, not necessarily tonight, but just in the next 2 weeks of practice when it was a 3-point lead at halftime and now you're down by 30?
You take the film and you just lock it up in the office for next year. You don't even show it. You come back out on Tuesday, since you got an off week, and you start working on basic fundamentals again, and you start preparing for Northside.
I said at halftime that it was a close game, but it still seemed like any team, Blacksburg as well, could really open it up. But it has been absolutely owned by Liberty here in the second half, and it was they got those 2 touchdowns early in the third quarter, and you didn't want to say it was over, but with the way things happened, you could tell that's just really hard to come back from.
Yeah, it takes the wind out of yourselves, and especially like I said, when you got young kids, they lose focus, and you're just like, oh my goodness, what has happened? And that's what happened.
Now it looks like Genda Smith is back deep to return, taking over for Jordan Porter.
Genda Smith deep to the tee.
Kick is, that just goes right out of bounds. So that's the second time that'll happen. Blacksburg should take over at the 35 with 2:27 left to go here in the game.
I don't think that ball even made the 35.
Not quite. It went right around the 35.
See Terrence Travis sitting down here on the Blacksburg bench with his shoe off. I hope that's not anything too awful bad. I'll be anxious to see Terrence play at PH. If he's that fast on grass, what's he going to be like on turf? Of course, PH will be able to match speed too. They'll have a lot of good athletes on that football team as well.
Yeah, Blacksburg definitely challenging themselves with their non-River Ridge schedule with Liberty, Northside, Patrick Henry.
Well, and that's the way Coach has always been. He's been that way ever since he's been here at Blacksburg. Schedules the toughest opponents because he says it makes you that much tougher for the playoffs.
So Wilburn in the shotgun now throws, hits his man. That's Corey King, the wide receiver, catching it. Gets out past the first down marker. Gets about 13 yards. Good pitch and catch there for those two.
Ball spotted at the 47.
Another senior in there getting some playing time, making a nice catch and getting the ball up the field for a good game.
They'll keep it in the shotgun. 4 wide receivers for Wilburn, and he has got 1 running back next to him. Wilburn throws over to the right. That is through the hands of Kyle Birch.
Wilburn's pass intended for Kyle Birch is incomplete.
One thing about playing the tough schedule like Coach does is even if you don't beat those teams, you still can garner a lot of points off of them, because when you play good teams, they're going to win a lot of football games. So when it comes to the playoff ratings, it gets you a lot of good points and gets you in a good shape for the playoffs, especially with the new playoff format that goes into effect this year.
And Joel Hunter is the running back beside Stephen Wilburn. In the shotgun, Wilburn takes it, hits Birch again, caught at about the 50, dives over across the 50-yard line inside Liberty territory. Gain of about 4 on the play. Brings up 3rd and 6 now. A minute 40 left to go here in the game.
3rd down, 6 yards to go.
You know, one of the reasons why Coach schedules those tough teams like with Patrick Henry and stuff like that is because, you know, even if you lose to Patrick Henry, you get so many points for playing them, and then you get a point or 2 for each one of their wins. So you almost get more points for that than you do for beating a Giles.
Wilburn takes the snap, drops back, and he is sacked. Loss of 8 on the play, so it's going to bring up 4th, loss of 7, 4th and 11. Looks like they're going to keep the offense out there, though.
Down to a minute here in the football game. Coach is just going to elect to run another play and keep the clock moving.
Fourth and 11, 50 seconds left. Wilburn takes the snap in the shotgun, looking to throw, throws deep, wobbly pass. It's pretty short, but it looks like that is Corey King goes up and between 2 defenders and brings down the catch right at the 25-yard line.
Yeah, good job going back to the football. The pass was pretty wobbly going down the field, but he goes back and catches the football at its highest point and makes a good catch, moves the chains, and keeps you in possession of the football.
You know, before the game kicked off, I was really excited to see these 2 teams face each other. When it was 17-14.5, that's right what I thought we were going to get. I didn't see the final score that we're going to end up with. Wilburn throws deep into the end zone. It looks like it is through the hands, not intercepted, but it's going to fall incomplete. Looking for King again. So it'll be 2nd and 10, but I didn't see 47-17.
No, and I you know, I saw all the predictions and everything, and we knew it was going to be tough because we knew Liberty was good, and you know, we talked about early how they feel like this is their year. They've been looking forward to this year right here for a couple of years and building into it, and certainly they've come out and swinging early in the season.
Wilburn takes a snap, still in the shotgun, 4 wide. Throws deep just over the head of J.B. Wilson.
Wilburn's pass intended for J.B. Wilson.
So 3rd and 10 now, 22 seconds left to go. Marshawn Forbes also out there at wide receiver.
Terrence is down here walking around. He's got his shoe off, but he seems like he's walking pretty good on his ankle.
Hopefully everything is all right with him. So 3rd and 10 now at the 25-yard line. Wilburn takes the snap, rolls over to his right, getting some pressure. He's just going to have to get rid of this one. And it looks like he's going to take a sack. He's going to lose 15 yards on that play. And I would imagine that's just going to be the end of the game. It's 5 seconds left. Yeah, Wilburn's walking off the field. So the final score here tonight, Liberty comes out with the win, 47-17. Blacksburg will be at home in 2 weeks against Northside. Another strong test in that one, the defending state champs. But they fall by 30 at home to the Minutemen.